Can run down what happened last time.
We met him. We met a cloud giant. We're going to some town. I'm sorry, I don't really remember why. If anyone wants to fill me in on that, we met a cloud giant who seemed to think that we were like not a bunch of scrubs,
which is very uncommon.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's interesting. Yeah, we were on our way to somewhere. There were some nobles that were demon worshippers.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and we're gonna steal from them.
Yes.
Yes.
Because they're bad people.
That came later.
Yeah.
I would steal from them if they weren't bad people. I want that.
So what are you guys?
But that's the concession that Malachi is making in the morality of it all.
We also had awkward necromancy. You can't forget that.
Yep.
That was beautiful.
Bedroom magic, yeah.
Yeah. You're welcome for me making that.
I got some fucking bomb-ass goggles.
Ass goggles.
Goggles.
You got beer goggles.
Yeah, you got some beer goggles. It's like he can see in the dark, but like he still has disadvantage because everything's just like blurry and everything.
Every woman I see is extremely attractive. Got it.
That would be
that's
hilarious.
Actually that's a really funny curse for those goggles to have. Actually.
Yeah.
I think we should canonize that.
That would be pretty funny. Yes, but like Tyler said, it was Noanar's Hold. What were you guys gonna do at Noanar's Hold? It was because that's not where the noble family is.
We're just a rockin'.
Oh no.
We're meeting the dwarves.
Nope.
We're going to.
That's Citadel Felbar.
That's way away.
Yeah, that's far away.
I have it written down somewhere. I know I do.
That's just gonna show up to the town and be like, wait, why are we here? Screw this, let's leave.
Here, let me pull up the map on that. That might jog my memory.
Someone wanted to visit the High Forest.
There is
this
that.
Is true, but that is not the immediate goal.
That is, which is like
town.
right next to Noanar's Hold's like right on the forest.
Rain blast. We had to deliver something.
Yep.
Yes, horse saddles, right?
Right.
Yes. Yes.
This was a month ago.
They got there. It's true.
In a different place too.
All right. So yes,
the
parties greatly aided. Some would say saved the town of Tribor. Then got a few different options for things to go do, all of which conveniently were like on the same path. But yeah, so your first stop was Noanar's Hold, to drop off some harnesses. And so, on your way over, yes, you found Cloud Giant, named Zephyros, who's got a fancy flying cloud tower. And
he told us about the Giants hierarchy and like how it's crumbling.
Yep, the Ordning.
Yeah. It's all flooding back.
Yeah.
The brain blast is
And
just...
the Vonendard.
The Vonendad, yes.
Yes.
And he called me short.
Yeah.
Because you are compared to him.
He called you all, small folk.
Because we are.
It's just kind of, which is just the giant term for non-giants, really.
Wait, I'm a fucking idiot.
Oh yeah?
Is this news?
So, yes, he told you about the Ordning, that their king, Hecaton, who has previously been keeping all of the giants in check, is missing, along with the queen. So right now, the youngest daughter is in basically control, although things are a little rocky, it seems. So, he also seemed to think that the group of you, would be key in restoring the Ordning. Mentioned something about talking to other planar beings. I'm not really sure what that's all about.
You communicate with the DM.
It was me. I told him. I was like, hey, bro.
Dio.
But anyway, yes, hi there. Right. So you got onto the tower. He's set course for Noanar's hold, and so now you guys floating along on this little cloud tower. You have free access to the first floor, and yeah, so you're traveling to your next destination, but you get the nice little experience of almost like being on a cruise, where you just just hang out, do whatever you want. So at this point, it's you guys came across him pretty quick, so it's probably still noon or so. So you got plenty of the day left ahead of you. Is there anything you guys would like to do? You have a little bit of downtime.
We're not like in town or anything, are we?
You're
No, you're not a giant
you're
cloud.
really high in the sky on a floating tower. The cloud that it's on is all solid, so you can walk around outside the tower, take a look around, whatever you want to do. What was that, Tyler?
Is the giant in the room with us, or is he gone?
He's gone back up to the second floor. For the time being, you're not sure what he's up to. But for now, he's second floor. He may pop up again. Yeah, and each time he travels between the floors, he just kind of levitates. Like it's kind of strange seeing this like massive over 20-foot creature just like weightlessly just whoop, up he goes.
Just like that.
You kind of gather that this, and it doesn't seem like he's casting a spell or anything. You kind of gather that this just seems to be something cloud giants can just do. Like to them, it's as natural as walking.
Oh. Giants are weird.
They can do some cool stuff.
You mean they're abominations? Got it. Okay, understand.
Toxic.
So,
That is, yeah.
like I said, there's some downtime. Is there anything particular you guys would like to do?
I don't know, like
Quit.
quit. Go home.
I mean, it's a bit of a way down, but I'm sure you'll get there quick.
I got 50 feet of rope.
Close enough.
Oh no.
I don't think. Why do I have a holy symbol
I don't know, dude.
and
What?
holy water? What the fuck?
What are you?
Probably some sort of like background thing or whatever. Yeah. All right. Well,
You stole it from me, I'm gonna be pissed.
if there's nothing you guys are particularly wanting to do,
I don't think so.
okay.
Nah.
You do notice Zephyros, after he's gone upstairs for a little bit, comes back down, and in his hands he's got a book. Doesn't really have any markings on the side, but just plain bound book. And then he's got a little quill. And he actually goes over to Moyer. And he kind of sits down, which again, even when he's sitting down, he still towers well over you.
3 feet tall, yeah.
Yeah, and he kind of looks down at you, and he kind of seems to be like studying you a little bit. And he's just like, I don't see any weapons on you, or any kind of spell books or arcane focuses. Do you fight unarmed?
Not exactly. And then I'll summon my lance.
Oh my! So some sort of extra dimensional pocket or something like that. And he kind of like, and for him it's almost comical because he has to like hunch down really far. But he kind of like he looks at it. He's just like, wow. I mean, I've heard stories that some are born with magical power. Was this? Where are you from?
It's a good question. I am from port last.
Ah, you the port, I see. You do much sailing?
I used to. Not much anymore.
Interesting. And as you're talking, he's kind of like writing down little notes to himself. And he's just like, so where did you learn that trick? It seems like it'd be very helpful.
Yeah. I have someone who taught me, I guess.
Oh, so like a mentor.
Something like that.
Oh, that's very handy. Scott, as he continues writing down, he's like, I've been thinking about. Well, see, once I've been warned to not interfere too directly with the events of your party. So after I drop you off, I probably should be on my way. But I've been thinking about going over to the. Oh, now I'm drawing a blank. Oh, frig. Hang on a second. The endless trackless sea. Okay. They're saying I've been thinking of studying some of the islands over at the trackless sea. You said you've sailed around there or something?
Yeah.
Anything of interest?
I mean, I've been to a few of the islands, I suppose. Not very many.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate it. And he writes down a little more notes, and then and basically he starts going around to each of you, asking you some questions, wanting to learn a bit about you, and whatever you say, he's kind of cataloging and jotting down some notes. He goes over to Crane. He's just like, you walk with a lighter step than most. Seem to be well trained. Where might you be from?
Well, I'm from the small village Selgerd.
Hell yeah. All right. Interesting. That's is that a farm town of sorts?
Of sorts. Not much going on there.
Oh.
I had to make my own fun.
Well, sometimes boring isn't so bad. Continues to jot down some more notes. Malachi, he asks you about, he notices your holy symbol. He's like, Cord, the Stormlord.
Yes, he has a lot to do with my place in the world these days. I was exiled from my tribe, and he's the one that pulled me out of it.
I take it some of the tribes up to the north, then. I know there's some that roam around Icewind Dale and the like.
Right, the Reghead.
Yes.
They wouldn't have known me.
Yes, I believe they're named after the glacier.
Showed up there.
Interesting. I figured I don't see too many Goliaths down this way, and most of them tend to stay up there. All right. Yarrow, looking at you, he's just like, now, aren't you an interesting one? I believe. And he kind of sits there, studies. He's like, a half-orc, I believe. Well, your musculature is a little bit different, and the tusks seem a bit more pronounced. He's very abrupt. A bit more pronounced. Just like, is this incense burner your focus? It's very strange. I've never seen anything like this before.
Yes, it is. It was an ill-gotten good, to be entirely honest.
Oh my.
But I've reformed from my previous days, as it were.
Well,
thanks to some guidance in the better direction.
Well, we've all done things we're not proud of. It's what you do afterward that counts. Just on a couple little notes. Oh, bless you. Then and then finally coming over to Ethan, and he kind of he stops for a moment, kind of thinks, almost like he's at a loss for what to say, and he's just like, "So you mentioned you came across the Countess, and she did something to you?"
Oh, isn't that right, Bones?
Yes, you're. Who might these friends be? They've been rather quiet this whole time.
This is Bones.
It's a strange name.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of peeks his head
Bones,
down.
shut up.
Starts to examine them a bit more closely. That's it.
It's like he likes you.
It's like I do believe I do recognize this kind of magic. He kind of looks back to you. Did this have anything to do with Sansuri?
No, I did it. I made that.
All right,
Bones
all
is my
right.
friend.
Very well. If
But she did this to me, and I'm just like.
he kind of like stumbles back, like almost like falls back for a second. He's like gets back, like kind of gets back up again, and then looks closely. He's just like, what? Necromancer? I mean, Sansuri is many things, but I've never known her to mess around with any sort of necromancy or undeath. She's
You should have seen
becoming.
the stuff in that place.
She's becoming more twisted than I thought. Makes some more notes. Writes for a while. Writes for a while on that one. Well, he kind of thinks to himself. It's like, I imagine that you do not like being in this state. I can't think of anything that would necessarily fix it right now, but perhaps a project, maybe something worth looking into.
I don't know how tilting this is right now. No, I lost my tech stock for everything that I wrote down.
Like your backstory and everything?
No, I have the backstory because I have it into D&D Beyond, but everything else is just gone.
Like your
That
notes?
sucks.
Yep.
Yikes.
It's literally nowhere on my computer.
Well, later on I can help you fill in any gaps if you have them. So, but yeah, so he goes to each of you, asks some questions, jots some things down. Just seems to be generally curious about this group that he's heard a bit about. And then after asking a few questions, he mostly leaves you to your own devices. If you go, you can talk to him if you want, but otherwise he kind of leaves you be. Doesn't pester you too much. You do every once in a while you do see him jotting down in a little journal of sorts. But the day continues on. Up in the clouds, not a whole lot happening.
Is there like an area around the tower we can walk?
Yeah.
Like be on?
Yeah, for sure. The cloud itself is pretty large. You probably have in the neighborhood of I don't know, maybe I'm trying to think 150 like square feet of cloud to walk around and stuff around the tower and so yeah, and you can walk around. Anybody who chooses to kind of look out, it's a strange experience. You can look out over all of the Desserin Valley. You can see the Evermoors, Evermore, which is a lot of swamp area and stuff to the north. You can see the rolling plains. And as the day continues on, the view is breathtaking. I mean, it's a very unique experience to be able to see things from this high up, because you're probably 1,000 feet or so off the ground. And as the journey passes on, you kind of see beneath the tower, there's a town down below. you see a long the Desserin River kind of snaking between the hills that passes through the town, and very faintly and inside of it you can see this kind of large shape, some sort of large boat that floats along that river. It seems to be docked at the town. Yeah. Other than that, there's a fair amount of wind. You see a lot of birds up close as they fly by.
Wait, before we leave, I want to ask the giant something.
Sure.
I want to just ask him. Speaking of up north, the Reghead. Do you know who leads them? Like today, or have you heard?
I mean, I know. As far as I know, they're separated into different clans, but I'm not too well versed on their political scene right now. I suppose you'd probably have a better idea than I.
It's been a decade.
Well, sorry, I'm afraid of that I don't know.
Okay, that's alright.
So, anything else you guys would like to do as it starts to turn to dusk?
I'm gonna try to scoop up a piece of cloud.
Okay.
See what it does.
Yeah, you and as you reach down and you kind of touch the cloud itself, you kind of hit, like, it gives a little bit. It's almost like a little spongy, and you push a little bit further into it. You kind of just hit this strange, like, it almost feels like ice. It's just a very hard, cold surface. And you can kind of pick up some cloud, and then as you pull it up and it separates from the main body, it kind of starts to turn back, and like it just thins out. Any kind of sponginess to it or is just gone, and it like vaporizes. It just kind of like almost liquefies and kind of drifts out of your hands and then flows back down into the cloud. So as you pull it up, it kind of just turns to a vapor. Just, dissipates.
Interesting.
So, night comes. You guys you have a tower that you can camp out in. Are you guys just going to all go to sleep? Are you nervous enough to keep watch?
I don't sleep.
Well, that's true.
There you go.
We've
That's
kind
true.
of come to terms with that at this point. Like, I think I'm pretty comfortable leaving him to it.
Right.
Leaving Ethan to watch. So.
All right.
I want to roll out my bedroll like on the cloud.
Sure. Yeah, you totally can do that. Yeah, you lay it out, and you kind of lay it down. It's a little strange at first. Again, that strange spongy feeling. But then as you kind of settle in, you're like, huh, this is actually quite comfortable. And so,
Like laying on a cloud, baby.
yeah, pretty much. And so, and as you look up, the moon's not quite full, but close to there, so you can see kind of out over the moonlit landscape. You're above most clouds at this point, so you can look up, see the stars. It is intensely relaxing. It's a strange experience. There's a slight breeze, but you lull you right to sleep. So,
I hate it.
so you hate it?
Yeah.
Ethan not like
The
heights?
breeze. Well, the wind goes right through him. So it's kind of. I'm not sure he's a big fan of it.
Last time I was on one of these fucking flying things,
You know.
Oh yeah.
shit got real.
Well, see,
Yes.
I appreciate the cool air. You know what I mean? Like, we've been fucking down in the
Yeah.
south. In the south, all these southerners are really starting to get to me, and this hot air.
Yes.
Not a fan.
Yes, it is refreshing up off of the ground during the and at nighttime. It is
Yeah.
the elevation and kind of when the air gets a little bit drier. It's a little it's comforting to you. It's almost a little nostalgic.
Reminds me of home.
Yeah.
A little more homely.
So. All right, you all make camp in your respective places, outside, in the tower, whatever you wish to do. And overnight, Ethan, you keep watch. Are you inside the tower, outside the tower?
Bones and I are
I feel like we
chilling.
should establish rules. Are you going to enforce that Hunter needs to tell you when he casts?
I was about to say, I was like, well, when it hits midnight, I'm literally gonna recast fucking
Yeah,
Animate Dead
yeah, that's fine.
and raise the other 2 skeletons back that are now skeletons
Okay, yeah.
after I have the zombie.
After traumatic
if you do,
experience.
if you start to do that,
Two.
Zephyros requests that it be done outside the tower. It just, makes him a little uncomfortable.
Seems legit.
But he seems, accommodating enough. So, but yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna say if Hunter did forget to say I cast I'm not gonna be real because I'm assuming that every night he's spending, so he can just take the spell slots off, and that's fine. I think so.
Very understanding of you.
That's literally his entire class, and so it's always good to make a note of it. But yeah, if he gets halfway through the next day and goes, "Oh, I didn't say I cast Animate Dead to keep them going," I'm not gonna be like, "Aha! Your zombies attack you." I'm like, "No, I'm assuming you did it." So
I'm just gonna keep up the slots, even if we long rest and whatnot. I'm just
basically, Ethan doesn't have 30 level spell slots anymore.
I have one.
Well, there you go. Until you find more. So,
Find more spell slots.
well, find more zombies and skeletons and such. So, morning comes. The sun starts to peek up over the edge of the horizon. Up in the sky, it's a little blinding. Crane, as you start to come to, you look over at the sun. You're kind of have to shield your eyes because there's like nothing really blocking it since you're so high up. No trees or
I
anything.
remember drinking last night. Why is it so bad?
Yeah, it's just like, it's a little painful at first, but you gradually get used to it. And as the day continues on and the sun's not right there at that awful point on the horizon, it starts to get up higher, it gets more bearable.
I want to go talk to Zephyros.
Sure. He slept up on the second floor of his tower, so you imagine that the bed's up there. Also, just as a little side note, you do see you saw a couple griffins as you came in. There were 2, I think. You do see 2 more that come in. He's got 4 in total. And anytime you see him with them, he basically treats them like cats. So they leave you alone. They don't really mess with you or anything like that. But they stay up kind of on this third little aviary.
Like loft, kind
Yeah, kind of like that at the top of the tower.
If you tried to fight him, they'd probably fuck you up real good, but
I would assume.
I have no vendetta against griffins.
So you
Wait a
wanted to go.
minute.
You wanted to go talk to Zephyros
Yeah.
in the morning. Sure. He is easily found.
So yeah, I walk up to him. I'm like, Zephyros, was it?
Yes. Crane, was it?
Yeah. Yesterday I talked to you about
Ethan, wasn't it?
Wait a minute.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Donkey, wasn't it?
Okay. And I was like, oh. Yesterday I told you about my hometown, Belliard.
Ah, yes. I haven't had too much. I think I saw it from afar once, but I don't know too much about it.
Recently, it was sacked by some hill giants.
And he kind of deflates a little bit. He seems like a bit of a morning person, so he's very cheery. But once you say this, his shoulders drop a little bit. And he's just like, yeah, that's a story that's more common these days.
Tales almost time.
There was one among them. It was a woman, I think. She seemed stronger, the leader. Do you know who her name, who she was?
He kind of thinks for a minute. And then he's like, female, stronger, you say? Probably some sort of leadership position, yes? There was a hill giant chief. Kind of a nice, well, like chiefess, I guess. Is that the right term for it? I'm not sure. I believe, I'm trying to think, hill giants have a bit strange names. I haven't necessarily spent too much time with them, but I believe there was one Chief Guh. Guh. Just Guh. Strange name, but I mean, she's... I haven't seen much of her in a while, but if I had to guess, it sounds like it would be her. I'm afraid I don't know anything about this individual. I've only just heard. I try to keep tabs on all the different giant races.
Okay. Gah, huh?
As far as I can tell, yes. If I'm remembering correctly, again, they have strange names like Thud. Not the most bright.
You can tell me that. Well, I appreciate your information.
Of course. Let me know if you need anything else.
Understood. I'm going back outside and I'm just sitting like with my back against the tower.
Mm-hmm.
I come in like randomly, like kind of past him as he's going outside.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, hey, I have one more request.
Oh,
So
popular today.
So I noticed you're writing things down about us and whatnot.
It's a note-taking habit of mine.
Right. Yeah. Well, I just wanted to
Sounds like shade.
I mean, I know I told you I'm of the Reghead, but I just want to make sure that I'm not. You don't have me notated as such. I mean, my taken name is. I mean, you'll enjoy this probably. My taken name is Skywatcher, and I'd appreciate it if you you mark that as the surname rather than Reghead, because they certainly don't own me.
All right. Well, sure. Yes. I can jot that down. No problem.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if I'm going to be in record books and whatnot, I just want to make sure that they.
Very
get
well.
that right.
Very well. I mean, I've and he kind of gestures to the bookcase he's got, and it's just like full of books, and he's just
You seem like somewhat of a record keeper.
It's a habit of mine. I don't know how many people care, but who knows? One day, the past should not be forgotten. I believe.
Sure. Yeah. Well, and I just hope that I'm not identified by the very clan who exiled me. So.
Well, I understand entirely. As somebody whose kin is also unsavory at times, I understand the need to set yourself apart. So, fair enough. Makes a little note in his book, and that's that. All right. Anything else anybody would like to do? Or we continue on?
I think I'm good.
All right. Again, day continues on. You get to about 3, 4 o'clock or so. You kind of guess that you probably don't have too much longer to get to the to Noenar's hold. The castle tower doesn't move very quickly, but it was traveling all throughout the night. So you made up a lot of ground just while you were sleeping. So you imagine it's probably not too much longer until you get there. So who would be outside? Kind of okay. So Crane. Well, he said he was outside. Say Yarrow Moyer. What are you guys up to? Whereabouts are you?
I guess outside, yeah.
Sure. All right. Can I get a perception check from Yarrow Moyer Crane?
That looks like a 18.
Okay.
What's my modifier?
It's a 14.
14.
13.
Okay. So, as earlier described, I mean, this view is phenomenal. Yarl, from very far off, you can start to see the high forest. And you knew it was huge. You've been there before. But seeing it from this high up, you were just, like, floored. I mean, this, as far as you can tell, I mean, this forest could house kingdoms inside of it. It is massive. Goes on for miles and miles. Actually gets to the point where you can't see any further, but it's just trees as far as you can see in that direction. It's just this green expanse that just goes. And it is staggering. So, Crane. You're kind of keeping an eye out, and off in the distance, kind of back from behind some clouds, you see a couple little black shapes come out from behind it. They look to be birds of some sort. And then they start to, and they're kind of going almost like listlessly. Don't really seem to have too much of a direction. And then and shortly after they get into eyesight of you, they start kind of veering towards the tower.
Yeah, I get up and I pull one of my short swords. I'm like, guys, what the hell are those?
Just like out of a daze and just like, what are you talking about?
I point at the shapes that are like flying towards us.
Yeah, Moyer, you see them. They look kind of they got like long, kind of elongated necks, almost like kind of like vultures. But from this distance, they're still a ways off. They look like, like fairly large, but maybe some vultures. So
It's a bird.
yeah, that's a bird.
Picture that I'm walking outside around now
Sure,
after the conversation.
sure. Ethan could be wherever he wants to be. Yeah, you catch Crane.
Everyone's outside. That's where I'm at.
All right. Yeah, you see Crane kind of pointing off into the distance.
I'm like, those are big birds. I'm picturing that I'm I'm used to being in the mountains. Like I can tell.
Yeah, and as they start,
like, those are large birds.
and as they get closer, you're like, oh yeah, those things are. Yeah, they are much larger than you first thought, and then you kind of see little black shapes, like little bumps on their back, and you start to make out humanoid riders that are on top of them.
I pull out my crossbow.
Yeah, I'm like, let's go for our weapons and shield.
Mm-hmm. You see about 9 of them in total. Each one with a humanoid rider. As they seem to be just regular. They're not like giants. You know, they don't have giants riding even more giant vultures. That'd be terrifying. But yeah, you see humanoids on the back. It's hard to see much beyond that. The vultures themselves are black, and then all of the riders are all wearing black, and they've got these strange kind of like pointed helmets that have like 2 points on the back, kind of like that curve up.
I'm gonna shout back into the tower and like, Zephyros!
You wait for a moment. No reply.
Of course.
Does this tower have like a magic cannon or something?
A magic what?
Magic cannon or something?
No, as far as you can tell, there is no armaments attached to this tower.
I mean, it's griffins, but
Yeah.
Armament.
That's true. Yeah, there's griffins, you know, so if things really went, you know.
well, like fighter support, I suppose. But you know,
But no response from calling out for Zephyros.
So, we waiting for these things to get here, or are we kind of...
How?
They're probably
Close enough.
They're probably getting to about 200 feet off.
Oh, they would be close enough for me to shoot at.
What if they're just coming to check us out?
They might be. I don't know.
So what can I tell? What do they look like? Again?
I wouldn't provoke them.
Giant birds being
Yeah, so you can see now they are massive vultures. Wingspans of, like, we're talking 15 feet across or so. And on, kind of between the shoulders, each one of them carries a rider. They're all wearing similar attire, again, black, kind of black leather armor, with these strange little helmets or hats or something that just they all have a uniform look to them. And they are definitely coming towards the tower.
I'm gonna fire a warning shot. Just in their general direction.
So you don't aim for them.
No.
Okay. Right, yeah, you fire off a warning shot. One of them that it kind of, like, it doesn't, I mean, it's not, like, real close, but just instinctively kind of, like, swerves off to the side. They're still coming closer. And as they get within, and they're coming up, and it's about 50 feet off or so, you hear one out in the front kind of shout. It's very, very faint, but you hear them shout, "We have no business with you. We seek the master of the tower."
Well, that's funny, because you're on the tower now, so it seems like our business.
And then they basically start looking for a place to land, and they'll pick like a little, like, off to the side. They'll pick like a little open spot and start to, one by one, just, and then one after another they come in. The riders hop off, and the vultures just kind of stand off to the side. They stay back, and they walk forward. One of them, kind of seeing through his mask, because this strange, like, helmet hat thing covers part of their face, but you can see the eyes kind of glaring at you, and they're just like, as I said, we have no business with you.
Holy crap, you ride those things?
And then, like, it just kind of glances at you, and then looks away, and then they just
So
keep,
what is your business?
they walk right past you. And
I continue to walk towards said buzzard things.
Okay.
Vultures.
And
so
these 9, so yeah, like I said, you see the 9. 2 of
Are they
them,
humans?
as far as you can tell, the one at least in lead was,
Like maybe elves.
yeah, maybe, or like could be some half elves, or again, they all have kind of masks, but they're all vaguely human looking. So
Any crests? Insignia?
Let's see here. No, nothing too, yeah, nothing too noticeable. Sorry, words are escaping me.
They're just wearing just like plain armor. With
Yeah,
masks?
well, they're black. Yeah, and they're all lightly armored. They are wearing these steel helms that cover the eyes. They kind of resemble stylized bird heads. One of them has a shoulder bag that's got like a smiling face on it. It's weird. So, but they're just walking towards the door. Ethan.
Are they armed?
Yes, you can see they are. They're not like. Yeah, you can see some swords strapped to their sides. You said you were getting close to the giant buzzard / vulture.
Yeah.
Okay. How close do you get? You trying to touch it?
I mean, not in. Walking up to be like, what?
Okay, and as you walk up, like the head of the nearest one, its head kind of looks over at you. It doesn't move from its spot, but its eyes are trained on you.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Walking forward.
Okay. You're probably 10 feet away or so at this point. Okay, you walk up to it. As you get within about 5 feet of it, does a 13 hit?
No.
Okay. So yeah, the bird it lashes out at you with its beak, trying to snap at your arm, and you yank it back, and I'm gonna step back a little bit. It doesn't seem to be advancing on you or anything, just staying where it's at. But yeah, if you try to touch it, it seems they're not fond of that.
I want to follow the dude inside. I mean, I'm gonna stow my crossbow, but I have my hands on my swords.
Yeah, and the one in the lead walks up to the doorway.
My mind is racing.
And the others behind you are kind of keeping an eye on you guys. But the one in the front just kind of starts pounding on the door. And he's just like, "Master of this tower, we wish to speak with you." Bit of a pause. No response. Kind of more irritating, keeps pounding on it harder. Very, very insistent. And after some time, you kind of hear this sleepy mumbling coming from inside, and the doors begin to open, and inside you kind of see Zephyros peeking out, kind of squinting in the light a little bit as his eyes are adjusting. Presumably, looks like he's been napping. And he's just like, all right, goodness me, I didn't expect visitors up here. That's fine. Simmer down. And then he looks down at all of them and he's like, I know, who might you be? And one of them says, my name is Navon, and we all speak on behalf of Yansi Bin. And he's like, all right. It's,
any of those names ring a bell at this point?
roll a religion check.
I would have
Religion
no
check?
idea. So.
Religion.
A belligeon check.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, bludgeon check.
A bludgeoning check. Okay. A bludgeon myself, and then see.
No,
if
you hit
11.
him to see if you remember.
11?
I'm not
Jans,
very good at religion, despite being a cleric.
you think about it, Yansi Bin not really ringing a bell. If anybody else is
Who's Yansi Ben?
and again, they're just pretty much ignoring you.
I got a 15 on mine religion check.
Okay.
I know I'm the second biggest thing in the room, but you do well enough to ignore me.
Yarol, you've heard the name before. The only you've heard that name, and you know that it's like another name for Yan Bin is the Prince of Evil Air.
Oh.
That's all. That's all you know.
What?
The Prince of Evil Air.
I'm gonna take a stab and say bad things might happen.
So
I'm gonna take a stab and say that Ethan's about to get his dick wet. Basically, that's what I'm saying.
So he calls out to them, and Zephyros is like, what?
Good thing or a bad thing?
What do you want from me?
I have a feeling that they're.
One of the cultists, he looks over at the one with the bag and nods to him, and anyway, one of the uniformed, all regular uniformed individuals.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
You did the same thing, Hunter.
Yes, I know.
No. As soon as we knew who, like, as soon as Derek knew who they were, like, we know.
Yeah, you could probably assume.
Fucking Zap is already smelling this from the other campaign. Okay.
And then, well, I mean, you've got Zephyros here, so
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Spirit of Zep.
Yeah.
Of good Zep, not evil Zep.
Yeah.
So he look. So one of them nods to the other, and the one with the bag with the smiling face kind of reaches into it and pulls out a little small pouch, hands it over to the one who seems to be like the lead talker, who then holds up this, you know, like up above his head, this tiny little pouch, and he's just like, "We bring a gift,"
Huh.
and he's basically saying that it's like, we would like your aid and hopefully allegiance, and to return this world to its primordial state, as it was at the dawn of history.
Fuck yeah.
And
Does that
so,
mean I have to die?
and Zephyros is like, oh, I don't know about all that. Yan Bin, that name rings a bell. I don't.
No, seriously, who the fuck is Yancy Bin?
And so he reaches.
I'm like in the background, like, all right. I'm like walking through them now. Like I'm just walking through their line of people. Like I'm like anybody want to fucking tell me? I'm kind of pissed off. I'm kind of pissed off.
And then Zephyros, as he reaches down to kind of like pick up the bag with like 2 fingers, like this tiny little pouch. And he kind of picks it up and examines it. And he's just like, yes, I don't believe I know this Yan Bin. I've heard of it, I believe, but... And then Navon, who kind of like still kind of side-eyeing Malachi, kind of sighs. Yan
Like, yeah,
Bin.
so he's looking at me, so I'm just like, I've got the axe like on, like just over my shoulder, like resting on my shoulder blade. Basically, is what's going on.
And he's just like,
Hey there.
you would do well to keep this civilized. And as he turns back to Zephyros, he says, Yan Bin is an elemental, an old primordial titan.
Is he a giant?
No, he is not a giant.
Okay, you're safe for now.
Anyway, will you help us?
Will you join me?
And Zephyros kind of thinks to himself, he's like, well, an elemental, that does sound interesting. I'll tell you what. You stay here just a moment. I will be right back. So, Zephyros goes inside. He says, "Oh, feel free to roam around the first floor. I should be back momentarily," and floats up to his little second story. Just whoop, and so you wait. There's kind of this awkward pause where it's just like the cultists, they keep an eye on you, but they're not like trying to make eye contact. They don't want to talk to you, but they still want to make sure they like can see what you're doing.
I turn to the leader. I'm like, so it's the pyramids game? Like, he's a pretty old man. I'm not sure if he's, down.
And they just do their best to just ignore everything you say. The most you get out of them is like a dirty look. Thank you. Ooh, that looks really good.
Only 1 out of 10.
Anyway, so Zephyros is gone for a little bit of time. Let me find something real quick.
Can we take a tiny break while I go take the trash out?
Sure. I need to look up something anyway.
I have a question.
Yeah, what's up?
How close are these birds to each other?
Probably about 10 feet or so in between.
Like, they're like in a circle.
They're kind of like in a line around the perimeter of the cloud. They kind of all set down next to each other.
Oh. Some might say like a straight line.
It's a little curved around the edge, but yeah, you could generally in a straight line.
Oh, okay.
You could probably
So some might say if I tried to lightning bolt all of them,
you could hit
I could
probably
hit them
about 7 out of 9.
fucking worth.
Yeah, it is.
Let's see.
No one's here to tell me about consequences is a bad idea, so...
Oh my god. Where's... Alright, hang on. Let me find the thing. There's... Before whatever you're about to do, hypothetically...
I fully know, it's become a reality.
Yeah, hang on. I'm looking for something. Where is the...
Yeah, one bird tried to bite me, so I'm gonna kill all of them.
Yeah.
Poppy.
Right.
That
Alright.
may or may not be the entire idea.
It tried to bite you, so you're like, I'm gonna murder all of them.
No,
Eat the destroyer, baby.
I may or may not just have a plan.
Right.
I'll
Okay.
get some
Zombies, yeah.
water, like, real quick.
I
Sure.
have
What was
another
that?
plan.
Just refilled my bottle.
What was that, Tyler?
Okay.
So bird zombies, yeah?
Alright. I have what I need.
I need to find out.
So, I guess, yeah, now it's, like, I'll take a quick break. I'm gonna use the bathroom, and then I'll be right back, since he's doing that. So, be right back. Feel free to bio break, do whatever.
So, get
I don't think it's gonna work. I don't think it'll work, but we going for it.
I was gonna cast Zone of Truth and have these guys fucking truth their asses up.
I was thinking of using my mask, wear, honestly.
I also don't remember what weapons we gave the skeletons, which is problematic as well.
One of them has a spear.
One of them has my original Warhammer.
Yeah.
Never turned.
Hello. So does anyone have a large sheet?
What do you mean?
You know, like a large blanket, maybe.
Maybe.
Anything like, you know, maybe something you make your tent with. Because if I do reanimate one of these birds, I need a parachute.
I thought you were talking about real life for a second, and I was like, I might have a sheet.
Oh
Why
wait,
do
you're
you
blowing
need-
up the birds, not the people inside? Like you're not even with us?
Yes, I'm outside! And I fully plan on trying to resurrect one of the birds.
Got it.
Understand, I'll have a great day.
Actually, we'll
Oh, excuse me. Or don't.
Huh?
I said, excuse me, or don't.
Jordan
You know.
is cleaning the ferret's ears, and they are not happy.
Pretty typical of
Those turtles are going.
any
I've
animal.
been watching them.
Yeah. Their tank just got cleaned, and they're very active.
They're doing turtle stuff.
Yeah. They're very active afterward.
They not turtle enough for the turtle club?
No,
Turtle,
they're not.
All right, everybody ready?
You've been revoked. In theory.
We all back? Cool. Okay, so, Zephyros is gone for about only about 3 to 5 minutes. They're kind of long, awkward minutes, but and he starts to
tension is thick.
Yeah.
In this room right now.
And he
You
starts
can feel it.
to descend back down. Ethan,
Yeah.
you're looking at these birds.
No.
It's been about 3 minutes.
No. I'm thinking like we will probably get in trouble if I do this. So I'm gonna go ask your all for permission.
Me?
So as Zephyros comes down and begins to address the group in front of him, he kind of starts to say, "Well, I've asked a friend, if you will." And as he's talking, Yarol, you feel a little tap on the back of your shoulder.
Still look back. I assume it's Ethan.
Uh-huh.
How are you phrasing this question?
Hey. See all those giant birds?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember that night? You remember Bones?
Yes.
Bird.
That implies.
Yeah. Yes or no? Yeah.
Yes or no? That should I do this? Yes or no? Bird's bones is yes.
Gives him like a little piece of paper, like circle bird equals bones. Yes or no? Circle one.
Essentially, yeah.
Only and only if things go terribly wrong, which they might, all things considered. However,
Rapidly escalating towards that scenario.
not unless things go out of hand.
So, as you're having this conversation
What does that mean?
with Ethan,
If a fight breaks out. But if a fight does not break out, dear God, don't.
so as you're having this conversation, Zephyros is talking to this group. He's as he says, "Well, I've decided that I do not believe that your group's interests and my own are really in step. I don't believe that I have much I can offer you, and I must politely ask you to leave."
I put my hand on my blade, like
the
I'm
lead
gonna get the axe like sitting on my shoulder, man.
the lead member that looks at him is just kind of snarls a little bit, and then begins to turn around, and basically just says, "You will regret your foolish and short-sighted decision." And
Is that a
then
threat?
and then they start to walk out.
they're not dumb like me. They're not gonna fuck with the giant.
So they walk out back towards the vultures. Do you guys let them go? Because at this point, I don't know what you guys are gonna do. So
I don't know if they're evil or not. So.
Turn
They just
your
seem
own.
like
They're
assholes.
like,
The birds.
they're down past the steps, walking along the cloud towards the
Sir?
vultures. Not
sir?
no, nothing. They keep walking. They seemed not at all slightly interested in anything any of you had to say. They were there for one purpose, and it wasn't you guys.
I'm gonna tell Malachi, like on the down low, like, hey, Yancy Biv, also known as the Prince of Evil Air.
Oh. So those are bad guys.
Most likely.
They
I feel like
they
Should we
begin
put
to
on the
mount their
list?
vultures.
we shouldn't like pick fights when like
How big is that
Should we-
smiley face bag?
It's like a little shoulder bag thing. Probably standard backpack size or so. Got
How
a
much
weird.
gold do you think could fit in there?
I mean, if it was straight up full of gold, I mean, if you picture a backpack full of gold, I mean, it'd be a lot. But it ought to be very heavy, and you're no stranger to hauling around large amounts of coin.
Did I hear?
Any jingling?
No, did I hear what Derek said? Or
I mean,
No.
he set it off to Malachi, so. But
I kind of look at him. I look over at Crane, and I'm just like, just give him a go ahead, dude. Like a fucking
they've
fucking do your thing, man.
they've mounted their
Nah.
vultures,
Tango up.
Tango, Whiskey Delta.
and the vultures are beginning
nothing
to
but
like
whiskey
spin in
Delta.
place.
Oh wait, they're leaving. Damn.
I'm gonna pull out my crossbow and shoot at the one with the smiley bag.
Not really discreet, but let's do it.
I'm gonna
There's
say
7 of them. Wait.
there's 9.
There's 9 of them.
However,
Wait a moment.
we have AoE spells.
we also have 9.
All right.
Got bones.
I'm going to say.
And the other
Go
two.
ahead. Yeah. So
Bones,
where they're
Tabitha,
at,
and Jerry.
What's the range on
Thank
your crossbow? Because you're up on the steps right now.
80 feet and 320 with this
Oh.
damage.
Oh yeah, they're within 80. Roll an attack. Not advantage. They've had their eye on you this entire time. Especially since you've already fired at them once.
25.
Roll damage.
Nice. Do I get sneak attack?
You didn't have advantage, so no.
Okay.
If you had advantage, yes. But again, they'd be keeping their eye on you. Again, you shot at them once already. You in particular, they were keeping an eye on.
9 damage.
Okay. Let's see here. Where is... Okay, and you shot at the one with the bag.
Yes.
Okay.
Whoops.
If shit goes sideways and people get mad at me, Malachi gave me the go ahead. Tango
I
Tango
gave,
Alpha
I
Charlie.
gave him the go Whiskey Tango Delta.
Okay. So,
Nothing but a whiskey delta.
yeah. So, you fire, and it buries itself kind of in the back of this guy's shoulder, and you hear him kind of call out, kind of cry out with this just pained, and glares back at you. So you're probably about 60 feet or so away. Frig. Alright, I'm trying to decide what would the group do here. Also, quick note, you also did this right in front of Zephyros.
Uh-huh.
That's an important note. Alright. So you fire at him, and the instant, like, and as you kind of, like, pull it down and begin to take aim, you hear Zephyros go, wait, and then it goes off, and it hits the rider, and they all, like, a couple of them had already, like, started to take off, begin to loop back around towards you guys, and all the rest kind of spin in place, begin to draw weapons, and Zephyros steps out, kind of in between the two. He's like, no, there's no need for this. There's enough bloodshed in this world. We don't need any more. And so Zephyros is going to... Where is his spell list? Okay.
That'd be huge. Huge spell list.
So he begins. You see him kind of mutter, like not necessarily mutter, like a strange little light begins to flare up on his staff, and he calls out to kind of like everybody around. Says, "Now there's no need for this. We should all just stand down and go on our way. And I need I think it's a wisdom saving throw.
Ew. Mass suggestion.
From definitely Crane. How many people can this hit? Yeah, no, it can hit like everybody. So, everybody make a wisdom saving throw.
I got 19.
Okay.
I also got 19.
Okay.
I roll a 19, but
I rolled a 1. I'm very convinced that we should stand down.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah.
a natural 20.
24.
Okay. Well, that is impressive. So, out of all of you, I think, let's see, what's his DC? I think Malachi is the only one that, okay.
I'd be scared if you had a DC of like 19.
You said 19? And then a 1. Was there anything between 19 and 1?
I hope so.
No, it was just 19 and higher and then a 1? Dear God. Alright. Yeah. Malachi, instantly you're like...
+5.
Like, yeah. All right.
Yeah, this makes sense to you. You're like, okay, yeah, no, this is really
fair.
unnecessary. The rest of you feel this kind of presence on your mind and kind of shrug it off. The group get some rolls. Well, all right, let's try the important ones first, rather than rolling for everybody. Let's just get the important
There's
ones.
multiple important people. Impossible.
Well, there's the leader, and then there's the one with the bag.
With a bullet stuck in his back.
Yeah, which, does that give disadvantage at all? Let me take a quick look at this spell. For example, or advantage.
I don't think you can make people
It doesn't.
do things
It doesn't
harmful.
say. Yeah, can't do anything harmful.
There's less
I
harmful.
honestly think this is like
than this.
exactly what the spell is for, too.
Yeah.
So.
So this seems up to 12 creatures of your choice. Okay.
Damn,
So
that's a lot.
yeah, I wasn't everybody. So it's 12 creatures. So there's 5 of you. We'll say 7 of the members. So one of them,
7 of 9.
the one that got shot, is actually okay with it. I mean, he's unhappy he got shot, but he kind of looks like he's eyeing up his options, and it's just like begins to turn his vulture to take off again. The leader kind of looks at him and is like, "What are you doing?" And then the other one's just like, "I mean, it's a giant. I mean, do we really want to do this?" And he's got like a crossbow bolt sticking out of him, but he's just like, just saying, seems like. Matter of fact,
Do short rests take care of that. Like, that's not a big deal. Let's be real.
fail.
Take damage.
Fail. Okay, so pretty much, like, all but, like, 2 that didn't get the spell cast on them, and 2, so 5 out of 9 of them are ready to go. Whereas the other 4, and there's, like, a little bit of an argument, going back and forth between them about what to do about this situation. As they're kind of arguing, Zephyros looks down at Crane, and he's just like, "Now, I don't mean to tell you how to live your life, but this is my tower, and I have graciously allowed you to ride on it. So I would appreciate if you would keep any unnecessary bloodshed to a minimum."
Seems fair.
And then,
Alright, well.
yeah, and then as they all kind of talk back and forth, the Zephyros goes down to the group and kind of pulls out a little tiny vial out of a little side pouch and gives it to the one that got shot. And he's just like, they're a little excitable at times, but allow me to make this up to you. And then gives him this little vial. And the guy swigs it. Looks like he feels a little bit better. They start to take off again. Yeah. So I was legitimately trying to think, okay, how to play this, but then I thought, no, Zephyros most definitely does not want to fight on his doorstep. So, yeah.
No, that's good though, because hopefully they'll fucking pay attention to us next time.
And so they take off they go, and Zephyros starts to come back, and and then he goes, I forgot, and he looks down at this little pouch he's got. He's like, I meant to give this back to them. It doesn't feel right keeping it since this was supposed to be in exchange for frankly I don't know what that was. Here.
Sounded like some cultists tried to convert you.
He kind of thinks, no, that does make sense. I'm surprised I didn't think of that earlier. I didn't know what they were on about. But anyway,
destruction of the earth didn't really seem very nice to me.
Like, well, they said they wanted to return it to its original form. I mean, that could be up to interpretation.
But they also follow it being known as the Prince of Evil Air.
You know what, Zephyros? You raise a good point.
So, and he takes this tiny little pouch, and he actually says, here, I don't feel right keeping this. You probably have some more use of this than I would. And he hands it to whoever wants to take it. Probably not to you, actually. Probably, specifically, not to you.
Specifically.
So, but yeah, we'll just, we'll say Malachi. Malachi's the one he has to bend down the least to get to, so. We'll give it to him. So, and he says, this is a pouch of fairy dust. An interesting substance. It can be used to cast enchantment spells of about 3rd level or so. Or you can sprinkle it on a creature. As far as I know, I don't know what sprinkling it on someone does, but
shit.
Be careful. Probably wouldn't do it when we're this far up off the ground.
I just spilled water on my desk now.
So, Malachi, you have a bag of fairy dust that is has 10 pinches of fairy dust. Is how it's
got it.
So 10 uses.
We don't know what that actually does.
It's pixie dust. It's not fairy dust. It's pixie dust. Pixies would take great offense to that, I'm sure.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna add.
So, there you have it. They've taken off. Zephyros kind of begins to walk back to his tower. He's like, well, that unpleasant bit of business is over. Why don't we all have some tea? And he goes to make tea again. And as he kind of...
This isn't in D&D Beyond. I'm just gonna make it custom.
So, yeah, basically, you can use it for, instead of the material components, you could use pixie dust for any enchantment spell 3rd level or lower. So, components for enchantment 3rd or lower, or you can sprinkle it onto somebody, and there is some sort of effect. You are not sure what. Neither is Zephyros.
So this could be useful for Ethan, actually. Ethan.
I mean, Gerald, do you have enchantment spells?
Yeah, so... Wait, can I use it for, like, Revivify?
That's not an enchantment spell.
How do I know if something's an enchantment spell?
It'll say on the spell description.
It says, like, 3rd level abjuration, 1st level evocation, etc.
Revivify is necromancy.
Yeah. Do I have a...
My only enchantment is Charm Person.
Okay.
Doesn't have a component.
Like, yeah. So, it seems like very specific use, unless you want to sprinkle it on somebody.
The only enchantment spell I have is text.
So, yeah, and you don't
Yeah.
have to worry about replacing your components.
Minus.
So, that is yours to do with as you please. Zephyros
Found its enchantment, but no components.
Zephyros comes back.
Can you use it to cast Hold Person or Incite Greed? But Incite Greed is Acquisitions Incorporated, so...
So, he comes back with some tea. Just like, yeah, for anyone who wants it. And he kind of looks out over the horizon. It's like, I imagine we should be at Noanar's Hold in, well, probably about an hour or so. He kind of sits down the tray. Enjoy. And so, right. Continue on. It starts to get closer to dusk. The sun's kind of beginning its downward creep. And in the distance, you start to see what looks, you assume, to be Nonar's Hole. It's a sleepy-looking little town nestled right into kind of a little crook of the high forest, almost butting up right against it. And the cloud tower comes to a stop. Still some ways off from the town. And he's just like, well, I imagine I shouldn't go any further than this. I don't want to alarm anybody, and I think I've had enough excitement for today. So
Fair enough.
it was a pleasure meeting all of you. I enjoyed our time together, and I wish you the best of luck. I do think I'll go check out those islands off to the west. I hear there's some interesting things there.
Well, I appreciate your ride, old man.
Yeah, thank you
Oh,
for everything, really.
think nothing of it. After all, you all will do a much greater thing for all of us. Well, here, allow me. And he kind of like taps the floor a little bit, and the cloud stairs begin to reform, going back down to the ground. And you have your way back down.
All right, I am walking my happy ass down.
Crane's like, yep, this was neat. Didn't have to kill a giant. I'm out.
Didn't get to kill somebody that probably had gold, because giving you take.
I'll tell you after the session what they had.
I may have pissed off a cult though.
I mean,
That's kind of what we wanted to do. We want to poke them in the eye.
so you guys aren't too fond of cults anyway. So are you really losing any sleep over it? I imagine out of all people, Crane has probably made a few enemies.
Losing
wanted to be
sleep
like,
as
hey.
in staying up to watch.
We kind of wanted to just be like, hey, fuckers, hey. That's what I wanted to do. That's my motivation.
So, all right, you all begin your trek back down.
I also would like to note that I was given the Whiskey Tango Alpha Charlie by
Yeah, you were given the Whiskey Tango outfit.
Yeah.
That's how like all of us were like, well, what the fuck? It was like,
Yeah,
oh,
no, everyone's kind of like, meh, you know, they,
yeah, Colt, yeah.
Prince of Evil Air, that sounds bad enough. Yeah, it's fine.
Get
so-
out of here. Come on now.
See them again.
Right, so you begin descending back down to the ground. Some of you, as you step foot on solid ground again, might be a happy experience, since, you know, being up 1,000 feet or so in the air can be very unnerving. The trip back down actually seems worse than the trip up, because you kind of look down at stairs in front of you, and like if I were to slip, it's gonna get tricky, and you kind of have to look down as you go, and it just like the whole trip down seems to just take forever as the ground just marginally creeps closer and closer until finally you step down onto the dirt. You are along the side of the road. Nonar's Hold is maybe a mile away from you.
What time is it right now?
It is like the very beginning stages of dusk.
So we would probably have time to go in there and get in it.
Oh yeah,
Too, wouldn't it?
yeah, for sure. You've got, I would say probably hour and a half, 2 hour, probably 2 hours till like night. So, like I said, the sun's just working its way down. You still got some time. So,
Okay. Yeah.
I
I say we travel on to the hold.
Yep.
Yeah.
You go to Noanar's. Is anybody proficient in history?
No,
No.
not even close.
I am a man of stabby.
Anybody?
We have what?
History.
Are you
Nope.
proficient in
Proficiency
history?
No, I don't know history. I'm not. Actually,
Yes, I am.
All right. This is short. Go ahead and roll a history check for me. It's funny that you have proficiency in history.
Natural history check, which it's an unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20. Okay, yeah. So, Ethan, you've done a little bit of traveling around. You didn't tend to stay in one place for very long, for obvious reasons.
Yep.
You during your time traveling, you didn't talk to a lot of people, but you overheard some conversations here and there.
Time traveler?
You've heard a few rumors about Nonar's Hold. Basically, you have heard that some point in the past, Nonar's Hold hosted these wild hunts that attracted the wealthiest nobles and merchants of the north. It was said that some who ventured to Nonar's Hold never returned. Basically spurring some more rumors that the five hunt lords who ruled Nonar's Hold were arranging slaughter for show to entertain their guests. A little bit, actually. That's actually very, very Hunger Games-esque. Basically allowing the guests to hunt one another. And then the place was shunned.
Frowned upon.
The place was shunned, and the village kind of fell on hard times. You know this was is rumors from probably 200 plus years ago. So it's been some time, but there's a rumored history. It's not known how accurate that is, but it's been said that the five hunt lords basically had guests hunt each other for sport.
Am I excited about this or not?
Oh man, that's funny. So you continue on along the road. As you're very, I mean, the high forest is right there. Yarl, as you kind of look into the forest, you just kind of feel it like a pull, just kind of a tug.
The calling.
Yeah, you just feel a pull towards it. And as a slight breeze blows by, you just ever so slightly smell a little hint of pine. So, you continue on to Nonar's Hold. Like I said, it's kind of a sleepy-looking town. The buildings they're all of old architecture. They're well made, but they've been there for a long time. They've been kept up fairly well. And as you walk into this village, it's a fair size, not large. Maybe think like Phandalin, kind of Phandalin sized. Strangely enough, as you walk around, there's still a decent amount of daylight left. It's very quiet. You don't really see many people out and about in the streets. Normally you'd see maybe some kids playing on the grass or running around. You don't see that. You see a couple villagers who all, when you'll see them crossing from building to building, they all walk with purpose. They don't really stop to even like acknowledge each other. They're just very driven.
My kind of fucking place. Got it.
Yeah, they don't dally.
Nearest inn.
So right, there is you look around. There is an inn. You also see there is a let's see. Right. So in near kind of the end of the road, it kind of comes up to this winding path up to this mansion. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but the person you were meant to drop off the harnesses with was one Emrath Molnabar, who
I don't think
was, which you knew was the basically kind of like the keeper of the Hunt Lord's Keep, which you take. It's probably that big thing at the end of the road. You do see a little an inn. It looks like it'd be like a hunting lodge. It stands amidst low stone cottages and stables. And you see a sign that says the White Hart Inn.
So you said there's like no one out and about other than like people who are just
a few here and there, but they are like you don't see anybody like standing around. They're constantly moving. They're just from place to place. They get where they're going and then they're off the streets.
Does it look like they're like hauling provisions or getting ready for something, or are they just like
Not in particular. It seems to be standard, like what you would expect to see from a regular village. Maybe like a delivery being made or whatever. But it just, everybody seems to have an extra sense of urgency. They're not. It doesn't seem like anybody's just wants to be out and about for any longer than they have to. It's the whole town's got kind of a little bit of an eerie vibe to it. So.
Seems like my kind of people.
oh my fucking god.
Plenty of bones hidden in those houses. Where you find? Kappa.
Uh-oh.
Keepo?
So, what do you guys like to do?
Well,
I just want to make the delivery real quick.
it's like midday. Yeah, let's make that delivery.
Okay. So you go up to the keep. This building has 3 stories, corner turrets and rooftop battlements. One of the turret rooftops has collapsed. Kind of looks like there's a gaping hole in it through which birds and other creatures can enter. All of the windows,
Birds can enter.
all the windows are bricked up. They don't look like 15 feet across, like holes.
Or do they?
So
Deathmatch.
yeah, all of the windows are bricks up. And then there's heavy oak doors that are on the ground floor. It looks like it's strange because it looks like it would be deserted, but you've been told that this is where you're supposed to make the delivery.
Jonah.
Oh,
Senor voice of group.
he froze.
I think Jonah's dead.
His webcam was like Unless he's doing his best, like, living statue impersonation. They're pretty good.
He's really creeped out by...
He just can't handle it.
Too spooky.
So what would you guys like to do?
Knock on the doors.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So you go up.
Knockity knock knock.
You go up
Hard
to the
knocks
doors.
now, boys.
One of the it's got these large metal rings that seem to act as handles, and you kind of just take one of those, this heavy iron, and just kind of knock it against the door. There's a bit of a pause. Let's see. Right. So there's a bit of a pause, and then you hear this little shook from kind of down below you, and you look down, and there's a little slot, almost looks like a mail slot, very low to the ground, probably about Moyer's like eye height. Jonah, have you returned? All right. Well, he'll be
Good
back.
try, boys.
So,
Oh, Jesus.
oh, are you back
Put water on my keyboard.
again,
No.
or?
No, I did before, and my keyboard's fucking really angry at me right now. Continue, I can do it.
Angry.
So, oh, there he goes.
Uh-oh.
That's all mucked up now. Hey, there we go. Right. So yeah, a little like slot opens up. You see a couple of eyes peeking out, and who are you? What do you want?
We were supposed to deliver a harness here.
You from? Where do you hail from?
Triboard.
And then the little slot goes shook, and then the door. You kind of hear this this like sounds like a board or some sort, being like a beam being slid across the back of the doors, and then they kind of creak open. And on the inside, you see a dwarf. He's got kind of like salt and pepper hair. Same with a long beard. His hair is a little kind of curly, but still hangs down. Looks a little unkempt. And he kind of waves you on and is like, "Hey, dude, drop them off in the lobby." And he leads you in. As you walk in, you see the kind of the entrance foyer area. You don't get too far in. There's just kind of like in this front area, things seem mostly clear, but as you kind of like peek further into the house, everything just looks kind of covered with a layer of dust. It seems like the air in here smells very stale. And he kind of motions to this little side table, and he says, "Here, just drop them off there." And so you guys drop off your harnesses and saddles onto this table. And once you do, he then starts to kind of usher you back out the door. And says, "All right. You've done your job. Thank you. Goodbye." And kind of just ushers you back out the door. As a note, you guys did get paid by Narth back in Tribal. So, just as a note, you guys did get paid for that. So, as you guys, if you all step back outside, the doors kind of swing back shut behind you. You hear the heavy sounding board slide back. And that's it. Showed up, took him.
Well, okay then.
It was like, goodbye. So, at this point, there's probably maybe an hour or so till nightfall. You guys make your way to the inn?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you work your way back to the White Hart Inn. The sun starts to dip lower in the sky. Even the few number of people you did see, seemingly like thinning, the crowd thinning out even more so. You see maybe 1 or 2 people on your trip back to the inn. That's about it. You come up to the White Hart Inn. You walk in. As you walk up to the building, it's kind of creaky. But as you go inside, the inside's well kept. Which, you know, a little sigh of relief, maybe a little bit of a flashback to the 6 windows in Tribor.
Thanks.
And inside, there is... Where are you? Right. So you see the innkeeper, a human, male, who's pretty short, and looks up to all of you, and as you walk in, he says, "Oh, hello there. You looking for a place to stay?"
Yes.
Like, oh, well, you've come to the finest inn in town. Well, the only one. How many rooms were you needing? Oh.
4, right.
That number is shrinking now. Good.
I think it's 4, right?
Pretty sure
4?
it's
Just the 4. Yeah. Right. And he starts to say, well, I'll tell you what, I'll show you to your rooms. And he pulls out some keys. He's like, oh, I almost forgot. Let's see. That'll be about, for the lot of you, we'll just say 2 gold. So,
Like total?
yeah, total for everything.
Okay.
So yeah, about 5 silver a room.
That's fair. Okay.
So, all right, and he takes the gold, brings out some keys, hands the 4 to you, split up as you wish, and then he starts to lead you back down. And you can see now the inside of this lodge. Again, the inside's well kept. You see lots of like stuffed animals, heads mounted up on the walls. You see plenty of deer. You see a giant bear on one of them. And as you're walking along, he says, "You know, this used to be a very, very successful, sought-after hunting lodge back in the day. Used to have visitors all the time. Yeah, this village has fell a little bit on hard times as of late, but I have a feeling it'll turn around one day." And so as he happily kind of jaunts down the hallway, kind of shows you each to your rooms, you do notice in the kind of the main lobby area, there was a painting, and you see 5 humans kind of dressed in noble looking clothing that appears to be like kind of like an old style of clothing, and yeah. So you each are shown to your rooms. They're all clean. They're pretty nice. Each bed kind of made out of like a rough timber, where they leave like the bark on, and everything. Give it a bit of a rustic feel to it. And as he shows each of you to your place, he's like, "Well, if you need anything, let me know. We have food and other refreshments should you need them. Right. I will say it's probably best to just stay inside for the night, and I'll see you all in the morning." And then he begins
Why do we need to stay inside?
and he kind of like Like he starts to turn around, takes a step, and kind of stops, and does this awkward little like spin. Well, so there's rumors that that sometimes so a long time ago, this was a well-established hunting lodge, and some of the hunters, it was a long time ago, they passed away, and it just sometimes you just you see them again.
Oh, so like ghosts or like?
If you want to call it ghosts, yeah, some sort of spectral visitors.
Ghosts.
So ghosts.
If you want to call it that.
Well, I'm not scared of any ghosts.
Well, perfect.
I ain't afraid of ghosts.
What?
Well, again, if you need anything, let me know. Poor Jonah. I think his computer died.
Does anyone have? Well, like. So.
He heard you.
I mean,
he is a
I think
ghost.
the town could use some help dealing with these ghosts. Maybe something like that. Hello?
Oh, were you talking to the innkeeper?
Yep.
Oh, I thought you were talking to like the group. Sorry about that. He's just like, oh, they're no trouble really. It's fine. Honestly, I haven't even seen one in like a month. So, it's fine really. You shouldn't trouble yourselves with it. They leave. They leave us all alone. We just stay inside where it's nice and safe, and everything works out fine.
But like they're obviously after something. Like maybe we could help them find it.
Maybe they're just not lead the rest properly.
I don't know so too much about that. Well, I'm sure it's fine. So, but
Okay.
all right. Well, have a good night.
Good night.
And he trots off back to the front desk area, front floor here.
I go over to Ethan. Ethan.
Hi.
So I assume, like, obviously you have a very specific type of magic, but do you know about, like, different types of magic too? Like, lots of different kinds of magic? Because, if you remember, like, we got this bag here, and I honestly, I'm looking at my references. I don't think I can really make much use of it, but if you had any spells that, like, you could actually cast using this bag, then, maybe it might be better in your hands. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't do anything with.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, here you go.
You get.
So I give him the bag.
Yeah. You get 10 pinches of pixie dust.
I can fly. Well,
Maybe.
it's-
You guys haven't tried it yet. Who knows? So,
He does.
what would you all like to do?
I don't want to investigate this ghost stuff, honestly.
Ah!
Okay. it's up to you guys. What you want to do? You have rooms. Nobody's gonna stop you from going outside.
Okay, can I do okay. When I get to my room, the first thing I do is I would like to cast that ritual spell that I am known to cast occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
What's it called?
Is it the Omen one?
That one. Divination. No.
I think it's divination.
It's a divination spell. It's augury. That's the one.
Augury.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to ask, should we go check out the ghosties and see if there's something? Should we try and discover what's eating the ghosties? Just yeah.
Okay, so you're asking, should you go out and investigate this ghost?
The ghost.
Okay.
Situation. Scenario.
So, you get good results, bad results, good and bad, or results that aren't specifically good and bad.
Yeah,
Let's see. Good, bad, both, or neither. I'm gonna say for this, good and bad. I think that's the best answer I can give.
How
good and
would
bad.
the townspeople feel about us if we discovered the reason for the ghosts?
So,
like, how would it affect our relationship with the people
mm-hmm.
who lived in that area?
Okay. So you're casting it again?
Yes.
Okay.
It's ritual spell. It takes 10 minutes.
Sure.
So.
Okay. Benefit with the villagers. Positive effect, negative effect, basically good, bad, and bad, nothing. Gonna say you actually generally get the feeling that not too much would change. Like,
Okay, so I probably just think we're loons.
Like, so this innkeeper, you gotta think back, like, he knows about this. He told you about it. There's these strange ghosts and stuff wandering around. And he's just kind of, like, oddly okay with it.
It's normal for them.
And so you kind of get the feeling that this might have been going on for a long time. And strangely enough, these people might be used to it.
Okay.
For used to ghosts, might be okay with skeletons.
Wait a minute. That's not direct correlation.
So he gave us advice to stay inside, but it wasn't like stay inside or I'm gonna be pissed.
No, he was just saying
Or you're
that
gonna die.
he suggested it's just probably for the best.
Okay. Well, I don't really care for my own personal safety that much, so. I mean, you know me. I'm a fucking looking for danger. I laugh in the face of danger, you know.
Sorry.
No, that's how I feel in the face of danger. So I'm gonna fucking find Ethan, or I'm talking to Ethan right now, and I'm just gonna be like, oh, so like we're totally gonna like check out these ghosties, aren't we?
Fuck yes.
I'm all on board too.
I enjoy the ghosts.
Okay. The group just decide to go ahead and check out the.
I don't sleep either way, so.
Okay. Do you head out immediately? When do you?
Grab my vacuum.
I like get my room together and then yeah.
Who you gonna call?
Moyer.
So, when do you guys head out?
Whenever Shang Tsung is ready.
Yeah, like I put my stuff, my extra stuff, in the room,
Okay.
and then we're rolling.
Okay, so let's say you guys step outside. As you go, you see, which actually I don't know if he introduced himself. His name's Avgar Filroy.
What a guy.
You see Avgar, and he kind of looks at you as you go, and he's just like, "Oh, was there anything you needed?"
No, but we're gonna maybe ignore your advice and do some exploring.
He's kind of like, well,
Don't worry, we're a hardy group.
I can't stop you. Be careful. You see something strange, maybe just leave it be.
Fair enough.
And you all walk out to a mildly perturbed looking Avgar who's keeping on a smiling face as you go.
Mm-hmm.
And you step outside. We'll say nightfall's coming pretty soon. And within a short amount of time, it's nighttime. The moon lights the area around fairly well. Could be a little tricky to see in some maybe darker areas. The light cuts out once you get over to the forest, pretty quick. But you're there in the middle of the village. You have the stone houses, cottages, and other things around you, and it's dead quiet except for sound of crickets. You hear an owl or a bat flap by. So you are in front of the White Hart Inn.
He's gonna aimlessly wander or go for specific spots, or
I'd say it's probably about, we'll say 9 o'clock by this point.
Is there like a town square?
Yeah, there's kind of like a general clearing in the kind of in front of the keep, kind of down, almost like the keep almost like looming over it. Yeah, there's a little clearing there. You see a few like a general store and some those scenes where the businesses seem to be gathered. And it's pretty quiet.
I'll head to the center of the little square
Okay.
and use Divine Sense.
Okay. Sure. So you move out into the middle of this town and you use Divine Sense. 60 feet, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You do not sense any undead celestial fiend. Correct?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're like the king of that spell.
Okay, wait.
Well, actually, I'm about to say yes. You do sense an undead.
It's a couple.
You sense 4.
Yeah, forgot we have. All right, necromancer. Yes, kind of, and I'd say it might be a little startling at first, since this is the first time of you using it, and yeah, you do sense something. You're like, "What the frick?" And they look over, and you look over at Ethan, and
Hello.
yeah, you see kind of Moyer kind of jerk his head over towards you,
Nutty.
and then yeah, he waves. You're like, oh yeah. So, nothing else besides your companion and his
his
companions. Yes.
Assuming nothing is affected by the hallowed though either.
No, nothing of the sort. So, you guys wander around the village for a while, or hang out in the square, just kind of wait. What are you looking to do over the next however long?
Do we want to split up?
Only for a Scooby snack.
Only for a scoop snack. That's good.
I don't know. I mean, like, I feel like I got fucking overhyped. I'm just like, okay, well, I mean, you're gonna.
Look, I was promised ghosts.
Well, yeah, I was promised ghosts.
We can go back and ask.
So I don't know. I'm chill. Like, I'm just gonna go to bed. I think. I wanted to check the ghosts out, but it doesn't seem to be any ghosties here. So. Yeah.
So you walk outside, don't see much of anything. Walk back inside.
Yeah.
Okay. Malachi's just like, all right, well, walks back inside.
It's like, nope, ain't worth the time.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just well, like, okay, so like this is what happens. I'm just like, oh yeah, whatever. I'm going to bed. Like no one else moves, right? Like, is everyone else just like ignoring that? If that's the case, then I probably just like what? Well, I'm still like hanging out.
Going with
like,
the group.
I'm just like, are we going? Like, what's going on, team? I'm like looking for cues. Good idea.
We're looking for a ghost.
I don't know, maybe hang around here for a half hour, look around for half an hour, and then call it quits so we don't see anything.
Okay.
Okay. So you wander the town a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. Sure enough, you take a look around. And it's just a sleepy little town. Doesn't appear to be
a ghost town.
No, people are in it, so you can screw right off.
Well, you can call it a town with ghosts.
Can you? You guys haven't seen anything.
Hypothetical ghosts.
Yeah, you take a look
Everyone has
around.
ghosts.
And a lot of the, like I said, all of the nobody's out and about at all. Not a single person. All you really hear are crickets. You can see the keep that's kind of up the hill a little ways, just kind of looming there. Nothing seems to be coming from there. Many of the houses, like a lot of the houses, you don't even really see like lights through windows or anything like that. Most of the windows all have like shutters that are kind of closed on the other side of them. Everything seems to be pretty much packed up. You say you guys are staying for about half an hour or so. Not too much happens within that half hour. You're about 9:30, 9:45 by now.
Dang.
Gotta wait till the witching hours.
So you've wandered around, kind of checked the surrounding area. Every once in a while, you hear, sounds coming from the forest nearby. Some of them sound a little strange, almost like they sound like regular like forest sounds, like maybe animals and such. They just have like a weird. It just sounds a little bit different. It's just something seems slightly alien about it. The forest honestly seems a bit more unnerving than anything going on at the town. So, yeah. You guys want to stay any longer than that, or you calling it quits?
I'm willing to call it quits.
Okay. So, unless anybody else is staying out, you all head back to the rooms. Ethan, you're staying out?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, I usually don't go to a room, so.
Are you staying outside in like the inn, or are you gonna be like chilling in the front?
Guess we're kind of gonna wander around until.
Okay.
I don't know.
Your usual.
Yeah.
By the way, well, quick note.
Oh no.
Where are you keeping your friends?
Behind me?
Like in the town? Like you brought them to the inn with you?
Yeah, they're cloaked.
Yeah, we bought all the stuff for them.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'll have to remember that. Okay. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Sure, yeah. So, everybody else heads off to sleep. Ethan continues to wander around. He's got 4 cloaked figures just wandering the town at night in this little group.
3.
Was it 3? Okay.
Yeah, I didn't have another body to make a 4.
Well, yeah, but you're the 4th.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So there's the 4 of you. I'm just saying, like,
The math adds up.
yeah. So there's just 4 weird cloaked figures just wandering the town at night.
They're the ghosts.
I say, who knows? Maybe that's how these rumors start. But anyway,
It's a skeleton town now.
Couple hours pass. The rest of you fall back asleep. I take it.
You know, the rest of us needed to sleep, so the party just sent their skeleton crew out to check.
Oh my god! Why? Why are you doing this to me? I hate it.
The scouting party was a skeleton crew. Yeah.
I hate it so much.
It is telling the minority of the group, so yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
What do you mean minority?
You freaking disappoint.
Oh yeah, never mind. Yeah, hold on. The math doesn't add up, boys. I
So,
failed basic math.
you guys go to sleep. Maybe get a little something to eat. And Ethan, you hang out in the town. About, let's say, a couple hours, not much happens. Out of what you would assume midnight, maybe a little bit after. You roll a perception check.
Okay.
He pulls out a dice and rolls a perception check. Just hold on a second.
28. No, I'm joking. 14.
Okay. Yeah. You're kind of wandering around, thinking to yourself, maybe talking with your friends, doing whatever it is Ethan does.
Tabitha.
Classic.
And you hear off in the distance, what sounds like hooves, like hitting the ground. A set of multiple, and it's kind of coming from over by the keep.
Don't you hear that? Yeah, well, calm down. We'll go check it out. I mean, honestly, you're right, Terry. He just
He's
he's
going
so
past
fucking
being
terrible.
being an awkward, like straight up schizophrenic.
So the hooves, the beat of the hooves, seems to be passing through the town square area, clearing area. Where are you stationed?
I mean, I guess we're kind of like going near the noise, but
Okay. So you kind of start walking towards like
just
the
kind
center.
of like check it out. I
Okay.
mean,
You just kind of start walking towards the center pathway.
sure.
Okay.
This is-
You just kind of step between 2 houses, and right as you're about to step out into the road, there's like this flash of movement in front of you. You kind of have to jerk back to avoid being hit, and then there's just like 5 blurs that just as these horses go flying past you. And you kind of peek around the corner as you can now see the tail end, and you see there are the horses. They are skeletons. They're skeletal horses,
My people.
and on the back of each of them there are ghostly-looking figures, and you kind of think back, and they look
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5 of them, yes.
5 punk lords.
And you kind of think back. They look a bit like that painting you saw back in the inn. They're wearing similar garb, and they are riding out towards kind of the exit or the entrance of the village.
They must be famous. No, Terry, we won't go get their autograph. They're really fast. We can't catch them.
Misty step.
So yeah, and you see these five riders take off, kind of go out the main road, and kind of begin to circle around kind of the perimeter. You kind of see them split off a little bit, and they begin to just kind of ride around in the surrounding area. Interesting note. Not even the riders seem to go very close to the forest. So, but like along the road and in the surrounding area, they're kind of, it almost seems like patrolling of sorts. So that's what you see.
Okay, I'm running to the end.
The end of the road?
No, to the inn.
Oh, to the inn. I thought you said the end. Okay.
Nope.
The end of the world.
All right.
He's going
Literally
there.
to Malachi's room.
Okay. You come inside. It seems by this point, Avgar. It seems like Avgar he's gone off to sleep somewhere.
He's schlump.
And you go up to Malachi's room. Easy enough to find.
Yeah, I'm banging on the door.
All right, Malachi, it's late.
Mm-hmm.
You're banging on your door.
What's up, Ethan?
I saw these sick fucking horses.
Oh, yeah? So, is it...
They were like skeletons.
Yeah, what are they doing?
They're running around.
Oh, that's it? That's all they do?
Yeah, we gotta get one.
Oh, do the ghosts want to give you one?
Oh yeah, there were ghosts. Yeah, on the horses.
Sorry, I just assumed they were ghosts.
Yeah, they were like in the painting thingy.
Okay. Hey, Ethan,
Hey, put your pants on.
does my hotel
I'm
room
running
have
out.
windows? And I go over to the
run out.
window.
Bang on your old store now.
Okay, I put my pants on. I put my fucking pants on.
So you're going to like check a window?
Well, I'm going to put my pants on. I don't know. I'm confused. Yeah, I checked the window. Do I see shit going down?
Okay. You kind of take a peek outside. You're kind of along like the back side of the inn, so all you really see is a little bit of a clearing, and then you can see out, and there's the wall of trees that marks the high forest. You see some stumps that look like they've been freshly cut, maybe used for lumber in the town. But other than that, from this little limited slice, that's all you can see.
Alright, as I'm like putting my pants on, I'm like, Ethan, you better not be fucking with me.
I'm banging on your old store now.
And then
Oh, huh?
I'm like a kind of a disciplined dude, but like not in a I like being interrupted in my sleep kind of way.
What?
There were these cool. Okay, so picture this. You know those birds.
Yes.
Now picture it as a horse.
Like a just immensely large horse.
Okay, picture a normal horse,
Okay.
except for check mark bone yes or no, and it was marked yes.
You just have such a way with words.
Picture the bones. Remember, okay, now bones. Now remember the vulture. Now bones, vulture. Now remember that. Now remember the horse.
There was a horse. There were
Made
5
of
of them.
bones.
Yes.
Just like skeleton
Yeah.
horse.
Yes. We gotta go look at him.
Okay.
We gotta go.
Side
Hawkeye's
note.
already up. He put his pants on.
Side note.
We gotta go.
Okay.
Ethan, those horses that you saw,
Uh-huh.
they have some really nice looking harnesses on them.
What?
Plot twist.
Okay. Give me one minute. I would
Okay.
just generally get ready
Like,
before.
Should I wake up Moyer?
I guess.
Okay. I'm going some Moyer's room. Just like instead of like the frantic knocking and stuff before, it's like a soft like knock, like Moyer.
He's like, it's like that kid. He's like that kid on Christmas morning who's just so excited. But then he gets to the weird uncle's room and he's like, yeah, I guess we have to get him. This is-
I'm used to sleeping on a boat. It's not gonna happen.
I was gonna say this might take more than that to wake him
Going
up.
back to your old room. Oh no, he wouldn't wake up. I tried.
He gave it his best.
Just.
You're gonna have to try. I can't. I don't know.
Okay, I guess I'm just gonna, give a nice knock on Moya's door. Not like obnoxiously loud, but like a normal knock.
Sure. I want to say you can get Moyer's attention.
Wake up, Moyer! There are freaking you can sleep when you're dead. Oh wait.
Oh,
I
hey,
don't
what's
sleep.
up, Crane?
Okay.
To clarify, he saw skeleton horses outside. Apparently,
Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
could be linked to what we were trying to find.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
Crane.
Hmm.
You catch you up real quick. Went to the inn. Innkeeper said, "Don't go out at night. This is ghosts and stuff." And then everybody went out and looked, and there wasn't anything. And then Ethan stayed up, and eventually 5 ghostly figures riding skeleton horses, also decked out with some sick harnesses, took off and started like riding around in the general surrounding area, almost like on a patrol. That's
And
what's
now I have
happening.
the general pandemonium of waking everyone up.
Yeah, that's what's happening.
Yeah, my keyboard is just not working right now, so I just unplugged it.
Okay.
Or
Nice.
Try without it.
Okay.
New
So-
keyboard.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
So you also have your phone, I think, which you can pull up your character sheet on too. So
Well, I opened Google and I kept my tabs, so we're good
okay, cool.
on that.
Alrighty. I'm assuming you guys go pick up or go wake up Crane too.
If he's not, I am.
Okay. So yeah, everybody is woken up and informed on what is happening outside.
There are definitely horses out there.
Supposedly, he says.
Would you say
he
that
saw
there
them.
are horses in the back of the town?
Kill yourself.
He's got a point.
He does. This is fair. I will take this into account.
So, you all head out.
I would hope so.
Okay.
Sick of mountains, dude.
I
So,
start sprinting.
Midnight Adventures.
all right. So
With
you
the
all
boys.
head outside. You don't see anything immediately upon exiting. Ethan, you said you're sprinting,
Yeah, going to where I saw them.
so it's like back towards like the entrance of the village.
Like where I knew where they were going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he starts taking off that way.
Okay. Well. Shit.
Wonderful insight.
And I figure you guys follow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to assume too much. So yeah, you guys follow. You get kind of to the edge of the town. Perception checks from whoever would like it. If you don't have dark vision, disadvantage.
I got my goggles in.
You do. Yeah, and this is a fantastic opportunity to test out your goggles. Which, by the way, worked
Perception?
phenomenally. Yes. 13?
14.
14?
Unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20. 18. You guys roll really good.
Wait, 14's good?
Well, I'm saying unnatural 20 and an 18. And...
Not good. I'm the bad roller today.
Okay. You're still trying to wake
We're
up.
not
You're still,
combat.
I mean, yeah, you're still
nice.
little groggy.
I'm a lot groggy. I'm just like I'm almost convinced that nothing's actually going on here.
Yeah.
You were just
This
interrupted
is
to
an
go
Ethan
sleep.
thing. I'm almost convinced this is an Ethan thing.
Your pants are in backwards.
Oh, shit.
uh,
I knew that they fit weird. I'll just roll with it.
Yeah, you know, they're on now. It'd be a whole ordeal to swap them around.
It's too late now.
Yeah, you're committed.
Can't go back.
I wear pretty tight pants too, so like that's its own thing. So
You know,
it's especially
Mal-
in human areas, it's really hard to find pants that fit.
yeah, you know, so it just constantly looks like he's wearing he's in that skinny jean phase, you know. He just legitimately can't find pants big enough, but it looks like he should have like
that's the
a
problem.
My Chemical Romance shirt or something.
They just don't make pants for guys
Yeah,
his size.
big and tall
exactly.
haven't been invented yet.
Can't be
So-
done.
They don't make 50-56s, okay? You know, like,
56.
Oh, frig. Alright, so. I'm gonna say Crane.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of faintly off in the distance, you don't really see too much of anything. You kind of look out along the road, but kind of faintly you hear like hooves beating against the ground.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, you hear often some distance away. Hard to tell if they're coming or going. You could hear them faintly.
Do I know, like, could I find the general direction that they were in?
Yep, they're kind of like down the road a little ways, kind of off down the left, kind of where you came from to approach the town.
Okay, yeah, I turn to the party. I'm like, I hear hooves that way.
That's them.
Yes, it's the way you saw them going, Ethan.
all right. Well, I guess we're not getting any sleep tonight. Let's do it.
Terry said he saw them in a
You know what?
painting before.
Wait, do your skeletons talk now?
Yeah.
I just imagine like in this constant
Inside
terror,
check.
just standing
Sure,
there.
roll an insight check.
Hang on. We got an insight check.
I have to know.
I can't roll well at all. What the fuck? Oh, I'm +7 though, so it's a 12.
Ethan, roll.
Yeah.
Roll a deception check.
or
What? I'm not
persuasion.
deceiving him if
I'm-
I believe it myself.
Are you legitimately so far gone? You're like,
What do you mean?
they talk to me. All right, you know what? If you want to do perception or persuasion, sure, do persuasion. Do it. It's your character.
Do a sanity check.
3. All right,
Like,
Malachi.
yeah.
You feel like he might think they talk, but
Like
you're
they
not
don't talk.
convinced.
But they don't like don't talk fam.
Yeah, you're kind of convinced they probably don't, but he might
Ethan-
think they do.
So Ethan, like, I know you don't have to sleep, but like, are you sure you don't have to sleep?
Why do I need to sleep?
Well, I mean, it gives you like your brain a rest. You know what I mean?
But the nightmares will come back.
Jesus.
Are you telling me you don't sleep because of the nightmares,
Hooves.
or you don't sleep because you don't have to sleep? Because now you have me worried about you.
There's skeleton horses out there, and we're
Can't forget the war.
worried about this.
Yeah, I'm worried about you.
Yeah. Yeah, skeleton horses. Let's go.
Just learned something about Ethan today.
You and Tabitha, always on my
He's
case.
schizophrenic.
Tabitha.
I don't like. I
Tabitha,
especially.
who, might I add, is not just a skeleton, like an Orc skeleton. Like a half orc, half like ogre, massive hulking Tabitha.
Seems legit.
Oh, that is-
And more broad structure of a male.
You end up being the big
skeletal
bad because you're like,
structure.
because you go nuts from not sleeping when you should have been sleeping all this time.
the
We're gonna have a
whole
problem.
the whole campaign's just one giant like public service announcement about how important
About,
getting your
like,
sleep
you should
is.
Get your rest. Yeah.
Dear God, have long
That's
rest.
like a loading. That's like a loading ready run. Fucking D&D session. Like that's what their D&D stuff is all about.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay.
And I just love the thought, like whenever he's conversing with them, or like he says, "Oh, class," like something like "Oh, class out," or stuff like that. Like it just pans to it, and it's just standing there, stalwart.
Yeah, like.
Just-
Yeah, just like stares at him.
silent,
Maybe it's kind of
ominous
yeah.
music.
You're like, wait, I have to get back in front of the camera for this.
Yeah.
You're like, wait, I have to make sure. So you're like, right, Tabitha? And Tabitha's like, right.
I knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crane. The hooves
He just
seem
left.
to. Oh my god! Yeah, he did. I thought he was maybe like still had his headset on. All right.
Evidently not.
Crane doesn't hear the hooves anymore. It seems to.
Do I
they
see
seem-
tracks of the hooves?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I can follow them, yes.
Well, here.
Just call me
do
Ranger,
a
baby.
That's the thing. This is a road. It's not like they get a whole. There's still gonna be tracks though. So I'm gonna say survival check to see if you can pick
Master
out.
survival,
Little did you
baby.
know.
Master of survival.
If you see if you can
Just
pick
call me a
out
ranger.
which.
23.
Are you serious?
I actually am proficient in survival.
Oh,
I-
dang.
Actually makes sense. On flavor, I am too.
All right. So yeah, you take a look around. There's lots of tracks. But you can find a group of them. I mean, it was 5 of them all together, and fairly large horses, even though they don't have the meat on bones anymore. Yeah, you find
Literally.
a group of hoof tracks that have been recently kicked up.
Yeah, but they also had harnesses weighing them, apparently. Nice harnesses, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know this, but I mean, Frank is making a comment about the situation. It's not Malachi.
Yeah, no, they had some bomb harnesses on.
New ones?
They're
Yeah.
this way.
Oh yeah, they're like freshly oiled, you know,
Yeah.
nicely
Especially clever.
nicely made. Yeah, they're tip-top condition. So you try to follow the tracks
Tribord.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Crane's back, so.
because yeah, you don't hear the hooves anymore. They seem to have faded, meaning they're probably moving away.
Go!
Riders
Go,
on the
Demon Team!
storm. King's Thunder.
So so you guys, oh my freaking god. That took a while to sink in too. Like I was just like, oh my god. So yes, you start traveling a little bit down the road. You go a little ways. You kind of think to yourself, like, is this legit? Like, but then you remember, no, Crane heard hooves. We have tracks, fresh ones. There's something's going on. And after, say, about 15 minutes or so, you start to pick up on the sound of the hooves again. And you see spectral figures off in the distance.
Spectral?
They
see those horses?
They start to get a little bit closer, and first you notice that the riders are kind of like transparent have this
Impossible.
have this unnatural glow to them.
I don't have any silver weapons, so.
Hello.
It's okay. I brought a spell for this very situation.
And as they get
I have a
closer,
spell for every situation.
the beating of the hooves gets louder and louder. You do see that, yes, indeed, these are skeletal
Spooky.
horses.
Wow.
But are they spooky and or scary?
I mean,
That's fair.
do you
Do
find
they
skeletal
send shivers
horses?
down my spine?
He's
No.
got a point.
Matter of fact, no. These are the most comforting, just non-alarming skeleton horses you have ever
Okay,
seen in
that's
your entire life. It's comforting.
I don't think
you
you got
feel,
the joke,
you
so I
feel.
had to
No, I freaking.
Are they so?
You feel better knowing they're there.
That's wonderful.
Inspiration, right?
Yeah, inspiration for everybody.
That's a point.
Sure. Yeah, you feel inspired knowing that these are guarding
Where
the
do you get
town.
inspiration?
Is that
Freaking.
your walking speed?
So yes, they are approaching towards you. Back.
Are they like?
I'm gonna
They're
wait.
coming in
Just
hot,
like-
or they're like trotting up.
They're going at they're not like at a fairly quick speed. They're not like dead sprinting. They have let me take a quick look. They they have, you can kind of see they have like spectral kind of weapons at their side.
Impossible.
They're there, but they're not like drawn and like at the ready.
Okay.
So
I will wait patiently with my 2 short swords out.
okay.
I'm waiting.
Okay. They, the 5 of them, ride up, and as they see you, they kind of start to split a little bit. So
Oh, good.
three going one way, 2 going the other, as they begin to sort of, in a wide arc, start to circle around your group.
I'm gonna call out to them and be like, "Who the hell are you?"
Hello. I like your horses.
And then, and at this point, they've drawn weapons, except for one of them.
Wait a minute.
Terry said you were famous.
And they kind of come to a stop, and then the one that hasn't drawn a weapon kind of looks down at all of you, and looks around and is just like, let's see how to do this. He looks down at all of you and says, you kind of hear like a whisper. It's like it's not like a full voice. It just kind of sounds like air passing through like a tunnel, and then you can hear bits of words on it. I'm not gonna try to do it because you guys, no, not doing it.
Just pretend that you're speaking
But-
fossil tongue.
Uh-huh.
And
But you hear,
Speaking what?
are you of the village?
Yes, we're
which
visitors.
village?
Here, Ethan.
I mean, we're just.
Yeah, we're visitors.
Hours.
We delivered some harnesses to the castle,
And
and we're staying at the inn.
as the harnesses, yeah, you can now see the harnesses that they have on the horses look very familiar.
They look kind of like those harnesses.
Wait a minute.
Actually.
And as the and you can kind of look at the horses, they're armored, and they kind of have red glowing orbs where the eyes should be, a little reminiscent of Ethan's green. And the one talking looks at Ethan and his group, and says, "You are like us."
Sure.
What business do the dead have with the living?
Well, he's
Oh
It-
God.
to clarify, he's not like super dead. It's more of a flux thing, like a state of flux. Is that right, Ethan?
The
Kind of like more of an in between sort of thing.
let's
I'm
see.
pretty sure he's alive though. Like he's pretty alive.
The writer says, "If you insist," and then kind of turns to address the rest of you and says, "You have done us a service by bringing these harnesses. No harm shall come to you."
Well, I appreciate that. So why do you patrol the town at night?
The high forest nearby has plenty of threats. This village is full of our subjects, and we seek to keep them safe.
Oh, well, that's very noble of you, even in death.
And then basically say, we have no issue with you being here, but for safety's sake, it is probably best that you be on your way whenever you have finished your business here.
I appreciate the warning, but you know we're pretty capable. We're a pretty capable group of adventurers, and
We know, and we do not trust you.
oh, so it's more of a please leave. Okay. Well, we'd love to help you with the dangers of the forest, but if that's how you feel, then we'll be on our way.
We have been here a long time, and we will be here long after you are gone. The dangers are always present.
Well, then best we stop chitter-chatting out here, then.
Okay. Good night.
Yeah.
The rest of them sheathe
We're dealing with some fucking stoics lately. man.
sheathe some long swords. They're long swords, and just watch you as you walk back.
Okay.
So, you guys head back to the inn.
Yep.
I don't think ghosts carry coins, so
You don't know where they
would.
would. You didn't see any saddlebags on the horses, so
Of all the times to have some kind of being that doesn't like the high forest, of all the times, but
Wait,
it's
you're
right
not
there.
You don't like the high forest?
No, I want to go there,
Yeah.
and not even to spite them. Like I've been wanting to go there
Oh, you want to go there? Okay.
to speak to LaRue because she called me to the forest, basically.
Hmm.
I
Oh
mean,
yeah. Okay, so that's the other reason we're here.
you also feel like, I mean, the way they're like, your business is your own. They just don't want you causing trouble in the town. So if you want to go to the forest, you kind of gather they would not care.
Okay, that's
You
fair.
are
Okay,
you are not their
I
concern.
misinterpreted it then.
Yeah. No.
I was feeling like, hey,
It's-
don't
no,
fucking-
basically they're saying that the forest has, you know, a history, and I would say it's fairly well known, and amongst your entire party, you guys would probably hear bits and pieces.
I don't know jack about this southern shit.
Yeah, you might not know about it, but I would say Yarl obviously knows the most about it. I would say Moyer's I'd say sailing around as much as you have, coming across ports, just meeting with people. You've heard stories about the High Forest, how people
hidden treasure.
might, yeah, there's just stories of hidden treasures. There's stories of elves, ruins, also stories of people maybe not coming back after they go into the forest. I mean, there's so many stories about it. I mean, there's stories that there's giants living in there. There's stories that there's like hidden, you know, like ponds where there's like fey creatures, will-o'-the-wisps. I mean, there's any kind of rumor there could be about this forest, there is. So it's pretty much impossible to be able to wade through all of that and pick out what's true and what's not, because every story under the sun, you could find one about this forest.
It's the best thing ever. Treasure.
The general vibe is, though, that it is not a place to be entered lightly. So,
luckily for us, we're not the most intelligent creatures on the planet.
So do you
and
guys?
we have a purpose that I know to be true at the very least.
Well,
Do you guys head back to the inn?
Yeah.
Do we want to question Amarth or whatever his name was, the dwarf?
No, I mean, I feel like those guys seem to be pretty interested in not causing trouble and more of a protect the town kind of way. I don't know. They seem like good dudes as far as I'm concerned.
I mean,
Like-
yeah.
I mean, nothing about like. Okay, so like, here's the
They're not
thing.
evil, yeah.
I mean, thanks to our pal Ethan, like I'm a little bit desensitized. To the
He's just like, oh, I'm dead.
So I'm just like, you know what? They seem fine.
That's a very good point. I would say knowing Ethan is probably,
like, whatever, dude.
probably
Like,
shaped his
yeah.
view of undead a little bit.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not
well,
like
so
undead
what?
is
You're dead.
evil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean you gotta be bad. In fact, these guys seem fun.
They weren't rich and they weren't trying to kill me, so I
I
didn't
mean,
really have
they
a
were
business.
like cops. Like that's
Well,
that's
and-
basically what that was. Like they were cops.
Yeah. And it's not like Malachi has been steeped in, like, tradition and clerical trait. He's pretty new to this whole cleric thing. He's
Yeah.
not like, it's not like he's been a
Whatever.
high priest for 30 years or anything like that, so.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
like it's been ingrained like undead is an
Yeah,
abomination.
I would
unholy,
honestly
must
say
be
that reaction probably makes total sense.
Cord wouldn't like really necessarily be like all about that either. Cord's more about like
It's not
his
focus, yeah.
yeah, like truth and justice. Like I don't really care how it gets there. You know, that's my
Yeah.
impression of Cord.
Cord is very much, strength is a virtue. Strength oftentimes needs to be proven, and strength is not to be abused.
Yeah, it should be used to help the weak.
So,
It's both a virtue and a responsibility.
yes, that is very much what Cord's kind of thing is, which is a little bit opposite of, say, maybe Tempest is like the god of war, and he's a little bit different.
Tempest is an asshole.
So, all right, so you guys head back to the inn.
Yep.
Ethan?
Nope, not fucking with that. No business.
I guess.
Do what?
Yeah, like I don't really know what to.
Ethan, like we could definitely like get you a horse if that's what you want to do. I just don't think that we should take like I feel like so like
We just
They-
buy a horse, kill
you
it.
don't
and
you
then-
don't mess with cops, you know? Like that's the thing. I feel like you don't mess with cops.
Fuck police coming straight from the underground. I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, but those are like not bad cops. They don't seem like bad cops. They seem like
yeah,
good cops.
like they're the authority and
Yeah. Like they're dead. They're still
Protectors.
trying to help people. Yeah, I mean I'm good with that.
So,
Also, I don't have a silvered weapon, so.
or a
Talk
magical
about that
one.
later. Yeah.
Fine.
I mean, yeah. All right. So, now that fight would be it would be interesting for sure. So right, you guys.
most of us have magical means of attack. I think the only screwed one is Crane.
There's that
The-
+1 longsword, but it's not really too useful for him.
I mean, yeah. So, you guys head back. Ethan, do you just kind of stay in the town, or
Yeah.
okay? you think about what you saw, and you saw another form. They were different. I mean, they weren't like I said. They were kind of ghostly, but they seemed to identify with you in some way.
True.
So, think of that what you will. Right. Are you outside? You said, yeah. You said you're outside. So, over as a few more hours roll on, and you can start to see the sun, the light start to crest up over the horizon. You can't quite, the sun isn't within view yet, but you can kind of just see its influence start to brighten the sky. And as that happens, you hear the hooves again, as you see the 5 riders come back into the town and make their way up towards the keep, and they disappear. So they back into the keep. So morning comes. You have delivered your harnesses. You have found that there's some truth to the rumors of Nonar's hold. In the morning, you actually see a few brothers. And at least they look to be brothers. They're all fairly similar humans. All have kind of the same color, brown hair, and they seem to be getting their gear together. All of them strapping rapiers on their side, and they're talking amongst themselves, kind of in the front foyer area, looking to probably take off soon. Yeah.
So, Yarrow needs to go to the High Forest, right?
Yes. I would very much like to go to the High Forest.
Okay, so why do you need to go to the High Forest? And where?
Well,
Because apparently there's just some spooky shit in there.
It's a big forest.
it is a big forest, yes, but I more or less know the path to where I should go, and worse comes to worse, I probably feel some kind of calling, because I need to speak to LaRue, an archfey who has saved my life, essentially.
I don't like the idea of more or less knowing your way through the giant forest.
It's fair.
I'm not
Having
gonna
a
lie to
feeling
you.
about where to go isn't.
I'm pretty capable when it comes to tracking.
Hello?
I mean, I know it's not the northern mountains, but like I know my way around nature.
You guys also saw this forest as you were up in the tower, and again, most of you being familiar with it. Malachi, at the very least, you would have heard of a massive forest to the south. This is your first time seeing it. You might not have known it was a high forest, but you probably knew that there was some sort of large forested area. Like the talk of this place reaches pretty far. Yeah, and there you have it. It is, and like I said, you guys saw it when you're going in, and same as I said to Yarol, it's a big place, big forest. So, you guys take off. What would you like to do?
I'm ready to head out to the High Forest.
Okay.
I'm very adamant about this. Because literally, she directly was like, "Hey, come see me." Just like, I can't say no. What? I can't.
You do know that it seems like your patron does have some influence within the forest.
Exactly.
Potentially, many of these stories that you have heard could have originated from her or something to do with her.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like going into this forest seems like the least dangerous thing we've done this week. So,
Fair. I mean, trust a cloud giant, you know, even though we just killed a fire giant.
We tried to pick a fight with a cult.
Yeah. We went after.
Blindly went to
the
try
ghost
and find some
protectors.
ghosts. Yeah, which happened to be protectors. Yep. We fought off some fire giants. We
Yeah, you guys-
went spelunking. Like, you know, we've done some shit.
You guys have been fairly fortunate with how things have played out. Yeah. So.
I'm confident I will know the way, either
Alright.
naturally or with guidance from LaRue.
All right. So.
I'm confident in my
I'm gonna
abilities.
talk to you though. I'm like, hey, like, what kind of dangers like are typically gonna be in this forest? Is like magical or like poisonous? Like, what are we looking into? What are we thinking about here? What's going on?
Some of it could be magical, but that would be more tied to the Feywild, which I feel wouldn't be a threat because I'm, you know, I have connection there because of LaRue. Alright, Caleb, so like, would I have encountered something dangerous my first time going
So-
there, per se?
So your time there, here's some things you do know. You know that for one, the deeper you get into the forest, the more strange things become. You do know there's a fair amount of magic, just inherently, and as in the forest, and as you go deeper, it becomes more concentrated, if you will. And you do know that around the outskirts there are all sorts of different beasts. You've seen stags with antlers like as wide as a wagon. Bears that are the size of like a small shed. You know, owl
Jesus.
bears, stuff like that. You know,
As long as
there's
there aren't fucking giant spiders.
Yeah,
If there's giant spiders.
Dude,
you guys.
spiders bite you, then you die. So
You know that yeah, there's beasts around the outside, and then as you work your way in, the effect of magic and potentially a slight a thin veil between planes starts to become evident. So
My grandma just threw a hissy fit because I said I couldn't go over and fix her phone right now, so I'm gonna go do that.
Unfortunate.
good luck.
I'll be back in a couple minutes.
all right, so you guys
Yeah,
take off for the
so-
forest then, or
Also
that's
generally,
what you
like-
know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Beasts, some affected by magic, and there's more concentrated magic as you get further into the forest, most likely just because of the connection to the Feywild.
Okay, so I'm going to try and let's see. To help our group, I'm going to cast, or I'm gonna not cast. I'm gonna prepare different spells. Find traps seems like
Okay.
a good spell to prepare.
Yeah, you can prepare whatever you like. So you guys start to make your way towards the high forest. Kind of looking at it, there's no obvious entrance. Like there's no beaten path. That's just like there's a clearing. Like the trees haven't been like cleared out along this. There's not really any of that. So you kind of just have to pick a point and be like, we go in here. But near the outside of the perimeter of the high forest, you can see there's fresh tree stumps that have been cut. This is what Malachi saw yesterday. Seemingly for lumber repairs or other construction work in Noanar's hold. This is only present on the very outside of the forest, however. It appears that no one dares to venture into the forest itself, and you very quickly see any sign of footprints and activity just disappear as you enter. As you travel into the woods, the trees start to look taller, older, larger. Some of these seemingly have been here for a long, long time. The forest has kind of a mystical feel to it. The area is thick with trees, and you find yourselves without a real path, oftentimes squeezing between the trunks of ancient wooden sentinels. The faint smell of pine surrounds you, seeming to grow ever so slightly stronger further into the forest. Many of the sounds of the forest are familiar to all of you. The rustling of a rabbit, the happy twittering of birds. However, they seem to have a strange twist to them, each one carrying a faint alien note with it. So, Yarol, I would like you to roll a survival check with advantage.
Oh boy, 7 advantage.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 11. What's with the advantage? 19 with advantage.
Okay. You begin to work your way back into the forest. This forest that you had visited some time ago. Almost feels like another lifetime.
Yeah, I would imagine, especially with how time works.
Yeah, it's hard to say how long ago it was. You're not sure.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all fuzzy to you. You remember upon exiting this forest, there was a bit of a catching up phase as things had seemingly changed around you. Things that were once in, buildings that were once present were now demolished and new ones stood in their place, and all sorts of things that were strange to you. All of these memories kind of come flooding back as you enter this forest. It's a little overwhelming at first, and you kind of find yourself just kind of randomly wandering through. But as you continue to venture into the forest, your pathway, you don't know how, you don't know why, but it just seems clear to you. There is no clear-cut path. There is no obvious way to go, but it's almost like there's just this invisible trail.
This one just seems right.
Yeah, you just keep following it on your way in. And you guys make pretty good time. However, this forest, as I said, is massive. So, you travel for about, I would say, 4 or 5 hours or so within this forest. It's about halfway through your traveling day or somewhat. Let's see here real quick. Ethan.
What's up, coach?
Ooh, I would like to know, what is the armor class of your skeletons?
13.
Okay, good to know.
Very important to know about this smacking
Give me a second.
right across the stupid face.
All right. So you all travel through. You've been going for a while. There's these trees that are just massive, very thick around, and as you pass between 2 of them, you all kind of go through the other side, the skeletons trailing behind Ethan. You all just hear this right behind you, and like the cracking of bone, as whichever one is in the back. So wait, it was Bones, Tabitha, and what was the third one?
It's Terry.
Okay, here, let me roll. So 1 is gonna be Tabitha, 2 is gonna be
It's
Bones.
Terry. Terry's always in the back.
Okay, well then Terry gets freaking rocked. For 12, 13 points of bludgeoning damage. Nope, yes, 13 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh. I'm pretty sure Terry's dead.
Is he?
Yikes!
Well, damage vulnerability to bludgeoning because it's a skeleton.
Ah, yes, that's 26.
Yeah.
Okay, so boosh, as one of the trees that was stationary before, looked like an ordinary tree, has swung this large branch down and just smashed Terry to pieces. Bits like the clothing just kind of like flattens onto the ground as little pieces of bone go flying out from it. And you all spin around and look, and now this tree that just looked like an ordinary tree is now taking on this somewhat humanoid form as this thing stands like 15 feet tall. And then from the other side, you hear a crackling and movement as you look over, and a second one is behind you.
Good.
Now, honestly, I think this is where we call it for tonight. So,
It's right there.
because we've been going for like 3 hours now, and we started late. Ordinarily, I'd keep going, but and it's like 9
Gotta
o'clock.
work.
So,
Yeah, it's true. It's Sunday.
oh, ferret cages though.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah.
By the way, my schedule changed, so I mean, I like playing on. I don't mind playing on Sundays if we continue to start early, and if we start earlier. But like, theoretically, could go back to Fridays in a couple of weeks if we wanted to.
I mean, if everybody's okay with, what's up, Jonah?
Jesus Christ.
So is everybody still okay with Sundays though? I mean, 4:30 or so. Like, do we want to do 5:30? Oh yeah.
You guys. I mean, 4:30 would normally be fine. I honestly like.
4:30
I just
Central.
Go ahead. Yeah, 4:30 Central.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I just want to present it an option because we moved to Sundays for me.
Sure.
So if we wanted to go back to Fridays, I can do that soon.
I'm okay with it. We've got it kind of figured out, so I'm okay sticking
Yeah.
with it.
Okay.
So.
I'm going back to Monday through Friday soon,
Okay.
which will be nice.
Jonah.
Yeah.
I'll fill you in a little bit on what happened. You can check the VOD on the channel if you want to see the last little bit. You're traveling to the forest for 4 or 5 hours. A tree just straight up decked one of Ethan's skeletons, scattering it across the ground as as a humanoid tree creature about 15 feet tall begins to move, and then another one on the other side of you. So, you guys have 2 big tree things. And that's where we're gonna call it.
Okay.
So yes, one of the skeletons has been vaporized.
Maybe one day this giant hole on my desk will be filled because my keyboard was just fucking removed. Oh, that was so annoying.
Yeah, that sucks. So, all right, everybody, thank you for playing. I hope you enjoyed. No combat today. We got right to the edge of it, but next.
I tried so hard.
Yeah, you did. You did.
Almost got there.
And I didn't want to just like I wanted to give you the option to fight if you wanted it, but then I thought about, well, you did this right in front of Zephyros, and I was like, he's a pretty chill guy, and he likes things staying chill.
Yeah, I feel like when he was like asleep in the tower was the time that.
Yeah, if you did it then, Yeah, you probably could have had it, but he was up and about and wasn't just gonna like sit by and be like, well, I guess this is what's happening now.
Oh, just go on back inside.
It's about time for another nap. That one got cut short. I'll see you all later.
Let me know if you need some drinks or something. Just...
All right, so quick note: the bag with the smiling face on it. One of the things inside of it was the pixie dust, which was given. The bag itself, it's a bag of holding. The also, the only other thing inside of it was actually another enemy, something called an invisible stalker. So you would have fought 9 riders with their 9 vultures and one invisible boy. So
That would have been a tough fight. For sure.
So now you just got 2 tree dudes. See? It's much better. So.
That's new.
I'm
I'm
not gonna lie, I've been so excited for this High Forest adventure. I really am. I'm excited to delve into Yeryl's story a little bit. I think it'll be really fun. Like I said, everybody's got some sort of character events planned, and Yeryl, we're hitting one of yours. So
I kind of figured.
So,
Because Lura is like, hey.
Yeah. Which I actually really appreciate you going along with it, because you could have just been like, eh.
No.
I mean, it's an option. You could have done that, but you played it wrong, and I was like, nice.
I mean, it totally makes sense. Like, this is basically the person that saved his life, so he's like, yeah, I gotta. I can't just turn on her now. Like, what?
And I'd be like, what do I need you? Who are you again? Remind me.
I'm sorry, I forgot.
All right, everybody. Thanks again. I'll talk to you all whenever.
All right.
Well, like, never.
Never, ever again. We're never playing D&D again.
See ya.
Bye.
See-
There we go. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed as much as I did. Yeah, there was some technical difficulties with our Jonah playing Crane. He spilt water on his keyboard, and then his computer's going on. Yeah, he was on the fritz there for a bit. So the layout was all screwed up. But literally, if I changed it all to like be normal again, the instant he came back, I'd have to change it again. And so I was just like, we're just gonna have to deal with it being screwed up for a little bit. So I hope it wasn't too off-putting. In the meantime, have a good one. We'll catch all of you later, and I'll go bye. Jordan says bye.